this way because I'm left-handed.
It's all good, baby.
So that way I feel a little bit more comfortable leaning.
If you want to, it's up. We can change it real quick if you want to.
Let me just see how it feels.
Maybe not to adjust the cameras real quick.
It's comfortable.
Alright, gotta do the intros and stuff. Okay, you can walk in and stuff like that, and make yourself drinks and stuff. I did like those. I did like those. Yo, what up, folks? Welcome back to this week's edition of Behind the Bar. It's your boy Sean, aka Early J. I'm joined today by a glorious guest. We got my boy Cee Baby from L.R.L here in the house. Clothing brand owner, storefront owner, event planner and promoter.
Keep going.
That guy doing things, the L.R.L Don.
That's what I was waiting for.
You know what I mean? The boy who lives.
The boy who lives. And the boy who lives.
You know what I mean? He dons many names, but first and foremost, he's my brother, and I'm glad that you're here sitting down with me, man. I really appreciate it.
Definitely my brother.
So we took a little bit of a break for a week. Sorry, the lights always make me a little sweaty, but we took a break for a week. Your boy had unfortunately tore my Achilles, ruptured it all the way through. But it's cool. We had surgery and we're on the mend now. And
it was for NBA trials, right?
You heard of it?
Yeah,
you heard of it?
It's like a one-day contract type of thing.
Look, all right.
Yeah,
I do what I do. But anyway, I had my Kobe moment, and now I'm on the mend. I had a surgery last week, so we didn't record last week. We had to reschedule, but we got it going. Welcome back. Trey's not here, as you can notice. He's over in Portugal, with the fam, just living it up.
Just
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I was supposed to be there, but
casually
surgery and stuff
on a Thursday
keeps it down. But how you doing, man? How's life for you right now? You know what I mean?
Life is lifing.
Life is lifing.
Yeah,
you got a new, not a newborn necessarily, but a youngster.
Yeah, very much
and
so.
Kind of into that new family life right now. How's that treating you?
It's a handful. I say it's definitely been an adjustment more than anything in comparison to just what life was like before a kid. But I love it though. Like I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right.
It's like one of the best things that I've ever experienced / experiencing currently every single day. So wouldn't change it though. But it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Would you say it's definitely rewarding? Clearly,
For sure.
But
most definitely.
There are times where it's hard. And you're like, damn.
That's more so for me. And you know me well enough to know that I just always move like the beat of my own drum. I got up and I went whenever I wanted. If I just wanted to just go out of town, I could just go. I wanted to just up and have this party, I just could have it. But now I have to schedule everything out ahead of time just to make sure that it works for her. So basically, she runs my life instead of me running my life, which is something that I'm not used to. I'm used to running my own show. So
because you run the show basically everywhere.
Yeah.
Kind of you go. Maybe your own store. All right. Sorry about the interruption, but anyway. So. Your schedule's made by, the fam nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. Kobe and Matina, for sure. They definitely run the show.
But it seems not allows you, but they understand. I think Matina being with you has to understand.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
understands.
Yeah, she understands. Yeah, of course. I don't even think she would have committed to bringing a child into this world with me if she didn't understand who she was doing it with. I mean, some have chosen to do that and risk it all and their life be disrupted, but no, she's a smart girl and she knew, what she was getting herself into. She knew me since I was 19, so,
Right, so let's actually take it back. So, from Baltimore, Northeast Baltimore, just like me, Overly area, or you live down the street from me.
So more so Sedonia.
Right.
Yeah.
So you went to Overly, that's why.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. St. Francis, 9th grade year.
Right.
And then got put out and went to Overly. So not by choice, but
you had to bounce back.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even think I remember. I didn't even know you got put out at St. Francis.
Yeah, well, I just wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing academically.
Right.
And it was an option to pay for summer school and be able to be accepted back into the school. My mother was like, yeah, no, you fucked up. I'm not doing that shit. So, you going somewhere else.
I can see it doing that.
Yeah,
you're like, nah, you kind of let that shit sail.
Yeah, you ruined it. So it was all good. I had to go, and that's what she wanted me to go to, I guess, because she felt as though Thurgood Marshall or any high school in the city wouldn't be the best option, I guess, as far as like safety and stuff like that. So she sent me to the county, sent me to Overland.
Right.
But I mean,
it turned out well.
Yeah, I met one of my best friends there, Nick. So.
Right,
Yeah.
and at some point I do want to talk about Nick and
for sure.
what they're doing over at the Real School and stuff. I know that's not directly you, but
no, for sure.
Things like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, like we met out. We had to be like 8?
8, yeah, definitely. We had no
7 or
idea
8?
about like the world at all.
So we, for those who don't know, the PAL centers, Police Athletic League is like.
It was once a really big deal.
It was huge
in the city.
It was like if you weren't part of a PAL, if you were in a city and you kind of didn't go to a PAL, it was kind of like
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like why not? Like everybody, that's where else.
It was like your own fraternity or like.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
For like neighborhoods.
Yes, because it was different PALs in different neighborhoods. So.
Different PALs, different neighborhoods. They were run by officers. Shout out Officer Craig.
Officer Craig, for sure.
Still to this day, keep in touch with Officer Craig.
Yeah, hell yeah. He watches grow into men, man. So yeah, he's definitely.
I got stories about Officer Craig. Man.
Officer Craig.
It's funny that he gave me my
special guy.
Whatever, he gave me my first pack of condoms. That's like
sound about right.
Right?
No, they got Officer Craig written all over it. So
like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, daddy gave me my first pack. Officer Craig gave me my first pack and kind of gave me the talk. But yeah, we met at the PAL. My mom used to bring us there, but she was cool with the office. We was cool, Officer Craig and Lori and all of that. I mean, all the parents were cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Honest, so. And then we just lived in the neighborhood. To be honest, I was 2-3 blocks away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just a no-brainer for me to go and become a PAL kid, just in order for me to have some structure in my life in the summertime.
Yeah, I remember I saw like you.
And then my Aunt Tasha, too.
Right. I forgot.
Actually worked
Higgins,
at the facility. Yeah. So it was just like, that's my nephew. Of course, I want him here.
I forgot y'all related.
Yeah. That's my mother's sister. So.
On the side, how's your brother? You good?
Good, Cortez. Yeah, good. Yeah, I just talked. He just at the party yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, stopped through. Him and my other little brother, both of them came through. So.
Well. Yeah, so we started off humble beginnings at Power Center. I remember just seeing you and like Darian and all them,
and Karan,
and everybody just being like, this is what I distinct memory. Remember, all y'all had on white tees.
Yeah, that was the thing.
It was the thing.
It was the era. Had white tees, yeah.
The white tee
shorts,
like,
big shorts from downtown locker room, yeah.
And I got in the car. I said, "Ma."
It was Lux tees downtown locker room. That's what the Lux tees, yeah.
That's probably. I need
a white tee.
Some tees.
What? For real? We did that?
I need to go get some tees.
Ain't no question.
Look, and she's like, "What?" That day we stopped at one of the like little corner
stores. And
got some white tees. Dudes that was on the corner
like selling the tees. You grab some white tees.
Grab some white tees. Come back the next day. White tee. I'm ready to go. But then what I thought was really cool too when we were younger was like we were all like I think 12 or 13, and we were like I was like it was really cool because you would always have like an older girlfriend. Like your girlfriend's always be like
my girlfriend was
15 or
16.
Like,
my girlfriend at one point in time worked at the PAL Center.
Right.
Remember that? She was like one of the summer workers there.
Right.
And I was going there. Yeah, that shit was crazy as shit. Yeah.
That's the type of shit, but we'll get into but like that's the type of stuff that I was like this guy's different just off the get go. I'm like this is not.
That's funny you brought that up. That's crazy. I never thought about that.
Well, I was thinking about clearly like before the interview I'm like about this or that, and I'm like, damn, he was we're 12 and 13, he had a 50-year-old girlfriend. I'm like, damn, this guy.
Yeah, I think I had an old soul from birth. You know what I mean? I was just always into like older shit. So I think that's like what it was with me. Older women, just the stuff that the older guys in my neighborhood that were into, like the music that they were into.
So can we dive into that a little bit? Like, around where you were, so Sedonia, near where I'm from too.
Right.
We know it's easy to fall into that stuff. And,
ain't no question. Yeah.
And growing up, how did you kind of navigate that? Do you have like a mentor or like somebody to like?
Well, I had a perfect example of if you do involve yourself into that lifestyle, how successful it can be, and also with that same example, how unfortunate things can turn out. And that was my father. So my father grew up in the streets, from Murphy Home Projects, West Baltimore. That's where my grandmother reside, and Penrose is the block that they moved to after leaving Murphy Homes. So I didn't know it, but I knew it. As a kid, when like my father does something different from all the other dads. Like he doesn't wear a uniform every single day. He moves around however he wants to. Money is never an issue. I got a lot of clothes in comparison to like a lot of my peers. Like something's different here. And because of him and him being locked up for 5.5 years, and I like witnessed him get locked up and get snatched out of my grandmother's house. It was like, oh shit, so that's what happens if you do that shit. But so I saw the good side of it, and I also experienced the bad side of it. So because of that, that kind of was like a deterrent, like because I just didn't want to disappoint him, and I didn't want to be on the opposite side of your glass. You know what I mean? Because I would go and visit him. I would go and visit him. So I saw how that made him feel when I see him have to be dealing with being locked up and incarcerated for so many years that I never wanted to experience that. And don't get me wrong, being curious and being from Baltimore, I mean, if you don't sell drugs or attempt to, it's just kind of like, you're weird. Yeah. It's like, even if you just try to sell a nickel bag, you know what I mean? It's just, everybody tries. And I definitely tried, don't get me wrong.
Right.
And that shit just didn't work out for me. That shit just too stressful, bro. Like, I don't really have to think about, you know, looking over my shoulders or worrying about somebody trying to steal my. I'll give you a story, and this is a story that I never even really told. So I remember, and I mean, we passed the statute of limitations, so we fine. And we was kids. So Karan had somebody that he knew, he had a plug, and he fronted him some way. So Karan being Karan, and feeling like he could just do whatever he wanted to do, we set up shop in somebody else's neighborhood. Oh man, them niggas cool. They ain't gonna bother us. We ain't gotta worry about that, bro. You sure? Because it's their territory, it's their neighborhood, it's where they get their money at. I don't want no problems. So, you know, I'll be straight. All right, bet. So, they hustling. I'm watching out. And a play come. All right, we ran out. We got to go hit the pack. We go look for the pack. It's gone. Mind you, we didn't buy this. We confronted
that shit.
So we had to bring them back their money, keep our pockets. I mean, if you know, you know. So,
I know.
That's one thing, right? So now we just like, oh shit, we gotta figure out who stole it, where it's at, because we gotta get it back. Mind you, we were using my best friend's car while she was at work, and she was working at Chick-fil-A in White Marsh. So we leave to go and pick her up from work so we can give her car back so we can leave for the day. When we pull back up, I see Darian and Karan sitting on the curb, and the police got them up there. Thank God we ran out, somebody stole our pack. So they didn't have no work and they couldn't find nothing on us. And from that day, I said, oh yeah, this shit not for me. I'm cool. It's too much. I got old niggas, somebody that I don't even know. I'm in somebody else's neighborhood, they stealing from me. I could have possibly got locked up for having work on me. I'm dead. It's dead for me. So ever since then, it turned me off. But I always had that like hustler's mentality. So I always was hustling. So it wouldn't have been a surprising thing if I would have fell into that lifestyle, but I just would sell other things. So like in high school, I was always selling CDs back when CDs was a thing. So this guy in my school, he would burn CDs, and everybody would buy the CDs from him. And I would cop from him, and then I saw that his setup wasn't all the way together. So I kind of like infiltrated his business, but I made it gain structure. So I'm like, bro, you're not organized enough. So I got a binder, and I got you know, the paper that you can like, what is it, like laminated paper that you can like, with the holes in it that you can like put pieces of paper in. So I said, this is what you need to do. You need to go home. You know, we went to the computer room in the school, and all the new mixtapes, we printed out pictures of them in black and white. And then I stuffed the pictures of the tapes into the clear packaging. So now we got a book. So now when people want to cop from us, all you got to do is just go through the book and say, I want this one, I want that one, because this was people just writing it. He was writing it down on a piece of paper. That's just so fucking unorganized. Don't do that. So he like, I'm like, all right, bet, bro, bring me on and give me 30% of the business. So he did. So now I'm hitting sales for him. So now it's coming to a point where I'm coming to him so fast that he's running out of CDs. So I'm like, all right, man, you gotta pick up the pace. You kind of like holding me up. I'm on the internet. I'm searching for the new mixtape that's about to drop so I can be ahead of the game and get them. So I'm like, man, we gotta make this a 50-50 thing because I'm now bringing more money to the situation than what you are. So then he like, all right, cool, 50-50. So now I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I'm making too much money. My family know now that I'm selling CDs. All right, it's working. I'm going to kids' birthday parties, family functions, and I'm just the CD guy. I have so many CDs, now I got a lunchbox with stacks of CDs in them, faking as if it's my lunch, because if the teacher saw that I was selling shit, because basically it was like soliciting, I would get in trouble. So one day, I know it's a lot, so the science teacher found it. She found this shit, and she stole my CDs. So I'm like, all right, fuck, I can't do it in school anymore, because I'm gonna get caught and I'm gonna get in trouble. So bro, I came up with a bus route, and I would catch the bus to every different mall on the weekends, and I would go to every single store and boutique, and I would sell them the CDs, and then I would give them my phone number. So now whenever you want something new, you can just call me direct. And then the business turned from a 50-50 thing to now I'm just paying you to burn the CDs because I don't have a burner. And I kept 80% of the business. And that was like my first business ever, selling CDs. So,
I had no idea.
Yeah. That's how I started. That was like my first hustle, selling CDs. Yeah, first selling candy out of my grandmother's house, but that kind of like died quick because it just didn't want that much traffic coming to her house. Yeah, but then CDs, I was selling CDs and I was hustling. I went to Mondawmin, I would go to all the stores, I would go to White Marsh, I would go to Towson, I would hit all the stores, and I would just always keep a backpack full of CDs and bind it, nice and neatly organized, and I took over his business. Started from 20 and I turned it to 2080.
So do you think that's like because that mentality, on what you're doing, let me know if you need to lighter.
Yeah, I got it right here. Shout out to
But like, do you think that you because I think it's a different thing to be deterred from going to the streets, but to have the mentality to like, where do you think you got that hustle mentality? Was it watching your pops? It was watching.
Yeah, it was him.
Even if you know it wasn't like necessarily something.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, I got other guys that I idolize, like Hove and Diddy, and
we'll talk about that.
Like
Who are some guys that
definitely Diddy, Jay-Z.
Like, we used to call you.
Yeah, we used to call you Diddy when I was younger. Yeah, so that was already a thing anyway. Yeah, everybody said I looked like him when I was younger, but him, just that unapologetic attitude of I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna own my own and I'm not gonna work for anybody. I was a bad witness to it. I mean, he has his record label, Chomp City Records, which he had back in the day, and he had his own record store. So as a kid, he would take me with him to the record store. So I would watch people coming in and out of my uncle's record store. My uncle owned it, and buy CDs. And I would watch them go to the basement and record music. I witnessed them go to video shoots, and I was just there. I was in the mix as a kid, so I'm soaking all of that shit up. As a young, when you're a kid, you're like a sponge. So I'm just seeing it. And then the guys that he hung around, or the guys that he surrounded himself with, they all business owners of their own, or they hustling and they got their own money too. Right. So I think that hustling mentality definitely just came.
It's like a kid who's around basketball.
Yeah, all the time. You naturally become an athlete. Yeah, or want to hoop. Yeah.
Like you want to hoop. That's what you want to do because that's what you
for sure.
You growing up around the ball. John Moran was on the court when he was 2. And now look at him.
Right? Yeah.
So, you've been blessed in that way.
Yes, absolutely. Hell yeah, it was a blessing.
Well, let's take it back then. So, like I said, we can take it back to PAL and the skating rink days when we were just kids and just kind of like palling around. But you had the wherewithal to kind of turn it into I wouldn't even say it was a gang because we were out here doing gang shit.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? But we were down for each other. Like,
we clicked up.
Yeah, we clicked up basically.
But
you kind of created that. What sparked that for you? That idea?
Do you remember? Just to have that ecosystem. I don't know. It was like kind of like a natural thing. Like these my brothers and y'all were more family to me than my family, if I'm being transparent. So,
at that time, would you say?
Just ever since we met, like my friends turned into my family fast.
Right.
So I always just wanted us together. Anything that we do, we gonna go together. We gonna go skating. I want everybody to go at the same time.
Right.
It ain't just only 3 of us. It's all 6 of us, or however many of us it was.
We used to go deep, man.
Yeah, we used to go deep. So yeah, that shit just always just been a me thing, I guess. Like just brotherly camaraderie and just togetherness.
Was there a day when you decided all right? Because I don't remember there being a distinct day.
Like the naming of the clique. It's definitely a story I've told her before.
Yeah.
So me and Josh, we were at my grandmother's kitchen table, and I'm just like, yo, we just need like a name. And he was like, all right, bet. So we looked in the dictionary for words that meant something to us, and the 3 words that came up were love, respect, and loyalty. And it was because we considered each other brothers, so we love each other, we respect each other, and we always promise to stay loyal to each other. So that was the birth of L.R.L. And L.R.L. wasn't even a clothing line or a brand or an event planning company. It was just a clique of brothers that just loved, respect, and stayed loyal to each other.
Right.
And I was just like, yo, that's what we're gonna call ourselves. And I don't know if it was somebody that I saw that had something that made me feel like we needed a name. I don't remember that, but I know that exact day when it happened was in my grandmother's house at her kitchen table, looking through the dictionary, and It happened.
Yeah, because all I remember is just being.
It just happened.
Just kind of
it just
one
happened.
day.
It was like, all right, we L.R.L.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
No, that's when it was curated. It was that day. I give him credit for that. Yeah, that's the story behind it.
Because I don't think we needed any reason to be like, oh yeah, like
yeah,
like,
but it felt like
let's go.
It stamped it though. You know what I mean? It made us feel a little bit more official.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was the time too when it was a lot of there were like a lot of
different crews.
Yeah.
But we sparked that though. I just want to make that very clear, very transparent. We sparked the idea of having a clique with the 3-letter thing. It was definitely your TFPs. It was Soul with Nico and Calvin and them.
Yeah.
But to my knowledge, and I mean I could be corrected, correct me if I'm wrong, but L.R.L. was the first. And then after that, it made sense. Like, why not? Yeah. So, yeah, those other guys, a salute to them gentlemen, I still bump into them from time to time as well. Actually, one of the guys that was a part of Soul was at the party last night,
So
yeah.
And that's good because that takes me to what I want to ask you next. So when was the time that you was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this into
a party thing,
either a party thing or I'm gonna make this into a thing.
To a thing.
I'm gonna like this is catching something. I'm gonna
shit. It's just, we were just popular just for being out and just being about and just being popular guys that like had a lot of girls around them all the time. And I tell you, man, I gotta credit my father to a lot of this shit. He came up with the idea for us to have parties. He saw it. He saw the vision. Like these kids. They nice looking kids, they always together, they seem like they popular. Man, y'all should start throwing parties. So he threw that idea out there.
Really?
And he presented it to me. And then of course me being me, I presented it to the team. Shit, what my father said, he'll rent the venue out, he gonna give us tickets to sell.
Right.
We sell these tickets, we get to keep the money that we sold off of the tickets, he keep the money off the door in the bar, and now we having parties. Got our first flyer done for us. He actually took us to a graphic designer who did the very first logo for the brand, and the heart was inside of the peace sign.
I remember it.
But then ugly as shit, it was trash. But then we got in the lab, and Darian, thank God for him, had to work photoshopped it, and we all put our little input in, but he definitely saved us because the first logo was horrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that, and he presented that idea to us, and then we ran with it. Yeah, shout out to D. Yeah, we ran.
We had to get him in at some point,
and we ran with it, and then. That was it, man. It was like all she wrote after that. We just hit the ground running.
So would you say your dad has taught you a lot?
For sure. Business
good
wise.
and bad. Well, good and bad.
Good and bad. Hell yeah.
And speak to like.
Definitely.
Does that skew your view of him at all?
No, I mean he made a choice. He made a choice. He made a decision. He's a grown man. I mean, obviously his circumstances weren't the best. He didn't have a father in his life to guide him or older guys to point him in the right direction of right from wrong.
Right.
And I mean, shit, we talking about the 80s in Baltimore, man.
Right.
Money was so it was just rolling in, I mean, it's just like shit. He a smart guy, so
goes with the money.
You know how I get to it.
No, that's interesting. So, you always just see, they teach you things one way or another.
He teach me without teaching me. Yeah, indirectly teaching me things. Yeah,
like sure. So,
and it's funny because we rarely have sporadic conversations about that life. Like randomly, when he'll just tell me how he went about doing things. Now that I'm an adult, but it took at least like 30 years for him to even feel comfortable to just tell me the type of shit that he was involved in.
Why do you think that was?
Because I think he's a father first, you know what I mean? And I'm not one of his homeboys. I'm still his son.
Right.
So he always wanted to protect me from that, even when he wasn't even involved in that shit. So it's just like, I don't even want to talk about that stuff. I remember I asked him one day, like, have you ever shot somebody? And he just, like, changed the conversation fast.
Real quick.
Don't even ask me no shit like that. And he made me feel that way, and I'm like, I would never ever ask him anything like that ever again. But I mean, I'm sure once I get a little bit older, one day we just gonna have that conversation and he'll spill all this truth to me. I would love to talk to him about that.
Right time, right place.
Yeah, but no pressure though, But he just always protected me and kept that just out of my eyesight the best way that he could. Like it didn't even exist,
Damn.
Yeah.
So parties came first. I was under the impression that the clothes came first.
No, parties came first, and it was The parties came first after L.R.L. And it was the clothing line thing was always an idea,
right?
But it just didn't come to life until years later after the parties. But it was the parties first. Yeah, the first party was at the 5 Seasons.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then from there, when did you break out on your own and say, I'm gonna do this by myself? I don't need
tough conversation with my father. But me being who I am, obviously we go back to the story when I told you I infiltrated the guy business, selling the CDs, and then I turned it into my own business.
This guy's a shark.
Yeah, I'm a shark in the water. So I met the owner of the 5 Seasons.
Right.
And we got to talking, and he just got to explaining everything to me. And he really liked me and my attitude and the kind of crowd that I would bring out. And then we kind of directly had contact, and we would start to talk, and I would start to try to figure out the dates to book. And then one day, me and the fellas had a conversation like, bro, we probably kind of don't even really need your father anymore. So I had to have a tough conversation with him like, hey, Dad, I kind of want to go out on my own. You know, I appreciate you jump starting me into this, but I got my own money now. I want to invest it into the parties, and I want to rent the venue out on my own so I can keep all the money off of the door and not just get ticket money that you were giving me. And he was like, all right. I mean, of course he didn't like it, and I think that was kind of like a chin check for him. Like, damn, my boy is, you know, he growing up.
So he
kind of after that. Yeah, he kind of had to fall back and let me do my thing. Of course, I'm sure he didn't want to get cut out of making money, but
he grabbed this for me.
But that little bit of money that he was getting from off our parties, I'm sure it didn't make a break him. So I think he liked the idea of me wanting to go out on my own more so than anything. So and that's when it happened, and that's when I ventured out on my own because I figured it out and I learned how to do it, and then just took it from there.
That was like what, 16 to like?
Oh, parties probably started like 17, 18, fresh out of high school. Yeah, and then I started
18.
on my own thing like 20, 21.
What was it like having the parties before everyone was like legal drinking age and stuff like that and dealing with that?
Shit, it's the same to me, to be honest with you. We were still in there drinking.
Well, I mean, I knew that was
it was still going on.
I didn't know how you have a party like that. You got like something happened.
No, 18 and over, and if you were 21, you got to get a wristband and drink. But shit, all of us weren't. None of us were 21, but we still were sneaking and drinking. I learned a lot of valuable lessons from drinking that young too, as far as business go. I never forget, I was so drunk that when I was in the back counting the money after an all-white party at the Five Seasons, I couldn't even clearly count the money. Like, my words were slurring. And then my father had a tough conversation with me. Like, bro, you're not supposed to be drinking. When you conduct your business, you conduct business. So then after that, I vowed to myself that I wouldn't drink during my events.
Right.
Or I would at least wait until the end to get my drink in, because it's not about me having fun, it's about everybody else having fun. And I'm supposed to make sure that everything is going good. A fight break out, it's a discrepancy with somebody at the bar at price points or something like that. Somebody need to get in at the door. I need to be clear at all times to be able to handle that stuff fast and then
thank you, dog.
Continue to make sure everybody good. So
on that note, speaking of parties, he's not drinking right now.
Yeah.
And that's the rest. We'll come back to that actually. We'll take a shot break with the girls.
I would definitely be doing that, though. I appreciate you.
Take a shot break with the girls, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's funny. I thought you knew that, though. I thought you knew that the close was second.
No, I didn't know that actually. All right. I just thought it all kind of happened.
Fast.
You can talk right now. You good?
What's your birthday?
All right, we back. So we were talking about the parties. First, when you threw them right out, like when you first started them, right out of high school.
Yeah.
Did you think about college? Was that like a thing? You like,
I went to college. Did you know that?
I didn't know if you finished.
I mean, it was never a thing for me. It was more so me trying to cater to my parents wanting me to go. Right. So my mother found this entrepreneurial studies program at L.R.L Community College.
I took a class there. I would say that.
So I went, man. I would catch a train out there every other day and not pay attention at all in class. I was never doing homework. I was never writing papers. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and she went to Coppin. So I would leave school early, and I would go all the way to Coppin, to hang out with her, or just wait for her to finish with her class so that we could just like go to lunch and just like go bullshit downtown. So after a semester, my mother realizing that I was wasting money and time, she was just like, all right, cool, bro, you don't have to go to school, but you gotta figure some shit out, and you gotta figure out a way to get some money on your own, because you're not just about to be sitting around in the house all day every day just not doing anything. But it's funny now, I do kind of regret not at least going away from school.
About that sometimes.
Yeah, remember we talked about that. I regret not having that experience just because of who I am and how I'm such a people person and I can connect to people. I felt like it would have worked in my benefit as far as branding wise and make my brand a lot bigger, a lot faster. And I just felt like, I just would have had so many different connections in so many different cities and states had I had gone away to school.
Right.
So, yeah, I do regret not going away.
I mean, I was just to even touch on that. My family, they made me feel like, there wasn't a choice. I didn't have a choice, to be honest. You're going to school, because for me, I until like 10th grade, sophomore, junior year, I was not oblivious to it, but I was just so in the moment that I was like, I wasn't even thinking about college. I was just worried about playing basketball the next season and what girl, whatever, was next. And then, it's just, do you think, I'm of the thought that college isn't for everybody?
No, absolutely not.
And honestly, I don't think it's for most people.
Yeah, no, same.
You know what I mean? I think I got more of my experience from I know it sounds crazy, mine will kill me, nobody, but from the socializing, the partying, I learned how to move in different crowds.
For sure.
And like, cool, I learned some stuff in sociology and stuff like that, I don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I felt like most of it was like, the learning I got was how to ebb and flow between all these people from different places. Like you said, different places. I don't know what they're like, how, what they're down with, what I'm, so. You're saying if you had a chance and you went back, you would go.
Yeah, I would have went just to experience at least a year away. That's all I would have needed.
Right.
That's all I need. Put me anywhere on earth,
Yeah, so you haven't lived anywhere else yet, technically.
Nope. And that's another thing that I regret too. I remember when my mother presented that opportunity to us to move to Atlanta because our good girlfriend had moved.
Right.
And my mentality back then was, ew, Atlanta? The country is shit down there.
Right.
And, Atlanta is Atlanta.
I was going to say, now you would have been, bro, you would have.
When I was a kid, I was like in middle school.
Yeah.
Or something like that, or maybe about to go into high school or something, and I'm just like, no, I'm not fucking with that shit. Like, I love Baltimore. I'm never leaving Baltimore. That was like my mentality because I hadn't seen anything different and truly experienced it yet to know that the world is so much bigger than what it is. So that's like one of the biggest things that I do anytime that I have a younger guy that come into the store and support, and they spending a lot of money, I ask him, bro, have you ever been anywhere?
Right.
Nah, I never been nowhere. I remember, listen, I know you love my shit. I'm not going nowhere. Take the money that you was going to spend with me next week and go buy a flight and just go to Miami, or just catch the bus and just go to New York. Yeah. And I promise you it's going to change your life. And I wish that I had that mentality when my mother asked me. I would have definitely not mind living somewhere else. But this place definitely built me up to be the man that I am. So I don't regret it, but that's definitely on my bucket list to move somewhere for a few years in a different country. Honestly.
You want a country, not
I want a totally different country. So I can just experience a different culture or just a walk of life. I mean, in the States, of course, when it's afforded to me, I want to be able to have different houses in different places.
Of course.
But yeah, I want to live in another country, just experience a different walk of life and a different culture.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought you were gonna say like different state to start
out. I mean, I travel so much now that it's just like
you're always somewhere.
Yeah, I'm always somewhere, so it's not no big deal for me as far as living in another state. I could just have a place that I could just reside, and that'd be cool enough for me. But yeah, I definitely wish that more people at a younger age leave the city so that they can just see how big the world is out here.
That was a nice thing, like for me. Going to Spain in 11th grade was like life changing. Mm-hmm. Just seeing it, like you stop and they stop in the middle of the day and everybody lays down. Like
crazy shit.
They just stop everything. Like everything closes. You go home and eat with your family. Like family time is super important there.
Yeah, that's what I mean by living in another country.
Right,
just experience a totally different walk of life.
I was just like, came home like this is so different. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. But I think either you should travel. Right out of college, your gap year, whatever, travel. I'm not saying college is for everyone. Some people need that structure.
No, they actually do. And some people, that's just what they are supposed to do.
It's on your trajectory for what you want to do. Yeah, you gotta go do that.
Some say your story is written already, and that's just what it is.
To be a doctor, you gotta go to college.
Yeah, you need your doctor. So, I don't want everybody to just say fuck college, and then we run out of doctors. And so,
of course.
It was meant for people. It was meant for people.
But we're moving into society where everything you could learn
on your own. Yeah,
you can learn online what you're gonna learn on college.
Absolutely.
Well, everything you learn, I'm not saying you can Google everything or get into it, but most of the things that they're gonna tell you can go online and learn shit. Some of it might not be the best information.
Yeah, that definitely got facts.
But
but
you can learn a lot of stuff. So I don't know, like when it comes to when I have my kid. You probably speak to it differently because I don't have kids yet, and you do. But
kid. Yeah, but I think if you're asking,
I am because obviously I don't even know if I'm.
Well, her mother has a master's degree, so I think it's safe to say she's going to school.
She's going to school.
But being as though I'm her father, she will be afforded the luxury of when she does finish that, she can do whatever it is that she would like to do. Right. Whether to start her own business or go into a field that she studied for in school. But I'm thinking that her mother will at least put the pressure on her to get a bachelor's degree.
So that's That's fair.
I would assume.
That's fair. Tina,
assume.
that's fair.
I would assume. I mean, she got her masters hanging on the wall and
That's
shit.
fair,
It's kind of like, yeah, you need that.
I get it. And
But if it was up to me,
support
I would
it.
just say, just figure your shit out and do what you want to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you want a time schedule, though, of course. Yeah.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
It's like you said, like our moms, they put pressure on us without putting pressure on us. So to say, like you know, like we have the drive and the hustle to go do what we want, and they know that we're just gonna do it.
Yeah, they
You
support
know,
us though. That was the biggest thing that we had, that support system from our family.
Right from the get go.
Yeah, from the get go of whatever. I mean, now, granted, I got a lot of questions about, you know, my ideas of what I wanted to become. And I remember me and my mother had this conversation, and she was just like, "All right, so that's your plan A, to have this clothing line to be successful. What's your plan B?" And we had a conversation like a couple months ago, and she told me how proud of me she was, because I told her like, "Yo, this is my plan A, my plan B, and my plan C. Like, I'm not going to allow myself to not be successful in this field." And that's always just been my mentality, and it just worked out that way. You know what I mean? But I know that comes from her mother making sure that she had a plan A and a plan B, and they can't rationalize the idea of
Plan A is plan A.
yeah, or you just gonna start this business and it's just gonna be successful, and that's just all the plans, and you don't need a college degree to fall back on so that you can get a 9 to 5. They couldn't rationalize that, but now people become entrepreneurs at 11 just from the internet, you know.
So okay, so you're 18, 19, you're throwing parties. I'm imagining you're having some fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there's women around.
Absolutely, always women around.
There's some loose change around because you're throwing parties.
Absolutely.
And you got, you know,
a couple
money in your
dollars,
pocket.
yeah, you know, for sure.
What's that like?
Yo, it's something that you cannot explain. It's something that you really honestly gotta experience. I've been afforded to be in a very luxurious position as a young man to have my own parties.
You were making you were making some money, right?
Yeah, we're making some money. Definitely.
Nothing crazy, but you were making some
nothing crazy. But I mean, for 18,
for
19-year-old throwing parties.
That's some good money. I ain't gonna lie. Like
it's not even about the money at that time, because I still would have a job. It was about the experiences. It was about who I was. It was about my status and what that allowed me to be able to do. And
how easy was it?
Yo, it's like passively as everything that I wanted on a silver platter. It's like a layup.
Was it? And just, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it? You know, I know you guys would have tables and stuff in sections or whatever at that point, but was it as easy as like? Not pointing, but like.
Oh, bro, it was easy as just like, all right, we make a flyer, we post. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, we put the work in.
Whoa, no, I'm talking about
women.
that
shit just fell in
the
back.
Sorry, she
know what's up.
Yeah,
she was there. She know my body.
So back then,
yeah, that shit was.
Was it? So what was it like? You walk into the party, because would you be there when it started, or would you get there late?
I used to get there late.
Okay.
Back then, but now I'm
right.
Because back then I didn't have no pressure. You know, my father was helping me out with everything.
Right.
Or my mom was at the door already, so they calling me, "Corey, where you at? You on your way here?" Because somebody named such and such asking me, "Can they get in for free?" But we had to make our grand entrance. You know, we picked our outfits out for the party, and then we walk in, and it's just like, you're a superstar. You walking around to each group of different girls, you giving hugs, you giving fives, and then there's a stage in the 5 seasons. So we go to the stage, and then we over top of everybody in the party. But the one thing about us is that we would party with the people. And that was the thing that people really appreciated about us, that we would be amongst everybody, sweating, dancing, having a good time. But the women was definitely a layup. But I mean, I was
said that, definitely a layup.
It was definitely a layup. But
Figaro real quick.
I was more the relationship guy of the clique, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
I will give you that.
I always kind of like had a girl.
You always had kind of more of a conscience than most.
Yeah, I had more of a conscience than all of them. Yeah, I was crazy. So yeah, I had a girl.
Where the dogs?
I had a girl majority of the time, but the times when I didn't have a girlfriend, yeah,
it was fun. Cause I used to have hotel parties too.
Hell yeah, we used to have hotel. We used to have hotel parties. We used to have house parties.
We had how old were we? Had a party at my house? 20, 19, 20.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild. Funny story.
Oh yeah, the backyard.
The backyard.
Yeah.
We made the flyer.
We made.
Let me just paint the picture for you. My parents I know, right? she's giving me my parents. That's my fake wifey, Alyssa. By the way, she'll be on later. My parents. I'm like, hey, I go to them because we talked about it. I forgot what we all talked about it. And I'm like, hey.
We had so many group meetings about that shit because we did not think that was gonna fly.
And then I go to them. I'm like, look, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna do this.
And we downplayed the shit out of the party too, though. We made them feel like people are just gonna come and they just gonna relax and buy clothes. Man.
Chill out, and it was gonna be relaxing, and like we told them we're gonna charge, and they were like, okay, cool. Mind you, I had prior leading up to this party, I had failed a class. I had taken a class, retaken a class, community college that I had failed that semester before at school, and then I fucked up and failed the retake of that class.
So you were already like on punishment.
So like they didn't know yet though.
Oh.
So like I waited to tell them. I knew for the party, but
you waited to tell them after the party. And that shit ain't help nothing because the party was so crazy. So that was an insult to injury.
So I figured out I failed, and then I said, fuck it though. I said, all right. I said maybe I can make the money back off because we split the door money. I said I'll make the money back for the course, so at least after I tell them after the party I can pay them back for the course.
Yo, you never told us this.
I never told y'all this. I never told nobody this, bro. I will tell all my people this, but I failed the course. The party's planned, everything's planned out, the DJ, all that stuff. We have the party. Mind you, my dad had spent time putting up like the blockers on the other side of the gate so that people couldn't like hop the fence and jump in.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like he put the blockers up. So he's doing work for the party and stuff too, cleaning the pool. And I'm like, again, we had told him it was gonna be very relaxed. Party starts. I forget. The gate is just bombarded.
Yeah.
It was kind of madness. Like,
yeah, it was.
And I forget I had my little cousin, somebody working the door. He kind of texted me like, "Yo, like you need to get around here. Like,
yeah, this shit getting crazy.
This is getting crazy. Somebody saying they know somebody saying this and that, and so we get around and kind of calm it down. And then I feel like once everybody was in, it just went nuts.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, the guy was filming.
Yeah,
the music was blasting. I remember the neighbor, a neighbor from like a street up came over. And he was at the gate, and they were like, "Yo, you need to come to the gate. There's a neighbor here. I think they're gonna want to shut it down." I'm like, "Nah, fuck," because we was going.
Yeah.
We go to the front. Neighbor got just a little white dude there, just chilling. And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you like? Is everything okay? Like, are we good?" Because to him, it's
it's crazy.
See black. It's
like a whole bunch of black people.
Yeah, he probably like
cars he never seen before.
Yeah, he's like, "What's going on right now?" So, and he's like, no, like everything's fine. I'm like, okay, so what can we do? He's like, I want to come in. Yep. We're like, shit, get your ass over here, let's go. I remember I made some juice for that party.
Yep.
Like, gave some juice and
because I think the punches had like different names or some shit like respect and some shit like that.
We had different punch. I think that was definitely all your idea.
Yeah, I think it was like a love punch. It was like something like they had something to do with the brand.
Some punches and I remember. So party happened. Everybody, I forgot what happened, how it ended, but everybody cleared out. It was cool. The next morning, I go up, I take my portion of the money. Hey, look, I know we just had this party, but I failed the class, so I don't know what to tell y'all. Here's the money for the class. I think it was probably like 2/3 of the money for the class. Probably it was like a $300 class. I think like I had like 200, so I gave him like 200, something, whatever. Just gave it all to him.
That's hard.
And it was like, sorry, and they just were like,
hey man,
whatever. Like, what we gonna do now? Like, it's done. So, but
damn, that's fire. I ain't know that. That was a smart play.
Shit, that was the only play I had.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, hell yeah, we gonna have this party. I gotta make this money real quick.
All right, well, I like that. But anyway, so now we're getting older now.
Yeah, we older now.
Clothing line started. Talk about that. Talk about the starting of the clothing line and some of the struggles you experienced first starting out.
Shit, man. You were there firsthand to see everything that we went through, to be honest with you. I mean, as much of a structured human being as I thought I was, I had no idea the responsibilities of like owning a brand and just all the different intricacies that comes with it. And then also having to work with different people. Right. And these are my brothers that I'm working with, and the struggles of like us bumping heads when it came to different ideas and stuff like that. But I mean, to be honest, bro, we like really started from the bottom, as cliche as that shit sounds. But we were going to Walmart to get our t-shirts. And I remember we just were learning as we go. Shout out to Davon with Purple Heart Clothing. He had a heat press machine. And we used to use his heat press machine to get screens from transferexpress.com and print the screens.
Listen, if you're a young...
Yeah, trying to get it to figure out.
Just the way to start or figure something out.
Yeah, so we went to transferexpress.com, we would order transfers, and then we would go get blank t-shirts, and we would print with his heat press machine our t-shirts up, and then we would post them on the internet and try to sell them and wear them, and we took our own pictures. And I don't even know. I don't know how Darian randomly had a camera or something like that. I don't know if he his mother bought him one or it was something he saved up for on board. But he had a camera. We used his camera to take pictures, posting them up on the internet to sell the shirts. And the quality of the t-shirts was shitty. But because we were who we were, and everybody had so much respect for us, we were selling them and they were moving. And then it just was a thing for a little while. Like we were just trying to figure it out. And I remember at one point, we got so tired of bumping heads, and I will take the blame for that. It was more so me because I was such a strong-headed one. And it was a few ideas that the fellas would present, whether it be Darian or whether it be Marty, that I didn't agree with. Or I would just kind of always be the one that would be super hard on the design concepts or what route that we should go with the brand or how we should do this and how we should do that. And I remember one day they were just like, bro, like, we just going to throw our hands up with this shit and you got it.
So do you think, clearly, I mean, we're all close as, thieves and stuff like that. Like we can not talk for a year and then everything goes back.
Like we talked yesterday. Yeah.
Do you think that you, or like, clearly there's no resentment, but kind of like, you clearly had the head for it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that they were just like, kind of like, do you think that can cause any rift necessarily? Right?
Shit was weird for a little bit with us. I remember at one point in time, Darian kind of like said he was going to start his own thing and start his own clothing line. And he kind of like started making designs.
Right.
But I don't think that's really where his heart was at. His heart was in the music. D is
right. And we're
an amazing artist, and I think that was more so just a pride thing. Like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just go ahead and just do my own thing and make my own design since me and C can't seem to come to terms when it comes to ideas. And then also, shit, man, I was young, selfish, self-centered, arrogant. I know what's right and this is it, and y'all need to listen to me. So that shit is annoying as fuck to be that guy.
Do you think that you need a little bit of that?
Absolutely, to be successful. I mean, I don't think I would be where I'm at today with it if I didn't have it in me. But I think I didn't know how to balance it. I didn't know how to communicate and express myself, and it was just kind of just like a more so of a it's my way or the highway type of thing, which isn't the way that you're supposed to present it when you feel super strong about something, you know, because it's a group effort, and I kind of really wasn't working as a team player at that point because I just felt like I just knew what it was supposed to be and what the vision was.
Was the timeline with that when we were all kind of having those meetings? When we started, was like, what was the timeline with that?
So the timeline with that,
we started having kind of like weekly meetings for everybody's craft.
So the meetings happened after that. So what happened was, we had our little moment, whatever. Darian said he was going to start something, but then he stopped it, and then he got back to the music. Pressure started getting put on me.
Yeah.
Because it was like, all right, nigga, we gave you the ball. What you doing?
Do something.
Run with it, yeah.
Shoot it.
But I wasn't doing anything. Yeah. And it was because it felt weird not having my brother's input or not having my brother's help or assistance with trying to bring my vision to life. Because more so than anything, I felt like my strong suit is that I'm a visionary. I have a great vision for different things, whether it be music, whether it be marketing, whether it be marketing, whether it be merch or events or just whatever. I'm a visionary, but I may not know how to do everything that's necessary to bring it to life, but I do know exactly what it is that I want, and I'm good at appointing people in different positions who are great at that and making them help me bring it to life. So it took a while. I had to live a little bit. I had a girlfriend. I was like going on like vacations and shit, the beaches, and just like spending time with her. I was in a relationship, but in that same time frame, I was cooking. I was trying to figure out, all right, I took this break from the brand, they gave me the ball. It's no way that I could come back with this shit and then fumble and not present it the proper way, because they gave me the responsibility to make sure that I'm the person that presents the brand the right way. So you called it and you was like, bro, like we should start having like these think tanks. And that shit was genius, bro. I mean, you were way ahead of your time with that, because that's literally what the world thrives off now with everybody with different things that they do. And you called it, you allowed us to come over your house on Wednesdays, and we would meet every single Wednesday. Marty would be in there working on his photography. Darian would be in there working on his music. and I would be in there working on the brand.
I'm working on weed stuff
And you
all the
working on
above.
weed stuff, and you working on your music, and you are also just standing over top of us to make sure that we all were like diligently working and doing something every single time, staying productive. We had a fucking mood board.
Yeah.
We had a list of shit that needed to get knocked out. We had
potential.
dates. Oh, you saw it, bro. You saw the
That's what I
potential.
saw. Like coming straight out of college, I just was like, there's so much potential right here that if we don't kind of figure it out,
we're gonna waste our time.
Yeah, we're gonna waste it. And
you saw it.
Sad to say.
What can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can. I would say you can fire them back at me too.
What was that moment for you when you was like, I gotta call these niggas and let them know that there's something that we need to do? Because you called us all individually too.
I did,
and that's
it
one
was
thing
kind of more of a, I needed to see the end result before you guys saw it.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense, like. I had just moved out of my mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving you kind of guys aware. I was just moved out of my mom's house. Me and Trey got a spot down on Conklin. Remember the spot you open down on basement?
That go through the basement and come up the steps. Yeah.
And I'm just in a super creative mood, and like I remember I had a little job, so I was like making a little money, and like I was just like cool, and rent wasn't too much, so I had a lot of excess money. And I wanted to make music. I just wanted to be creative as fuck. That's all I wanted to do at that point. I still want to do that. That's all I want to do to this day. But, so I just was like, but I can't do it with just like me. Like, you know, I don't have all the pieces.
Right.
So I was like, well, the other pieces are there.
Right.
We just got to all get on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that? We spend time together, more time, and again, like I said, I gave him a key to my house. Said, bro, here's the lock code. Go in, lock yourself in the sliding door room.
Yeah, and do your thing.
And do your thing, and just record, and just fucking just let it be your oasis.
Yep.
And it was for, I'm not gonna say it wasn't. It was for a second. It was definitely. I think it was what we did there was productive.
Absolutely. You know that shit sparked the trucker hats. That shit sparked the primary color design. That shit sparked the loyalty design. It put the pressure on me to get creative. Now I finalized the loyalty design at Darian's grandmother's house. But it sparked that shit. Like, I don't know if you remember that day when I bought the trucker hats to your house and I gave everybody their own bag of hats. And it was when I had the red, the gray, and the royal blue with the heart logo patch on it. From those meetings, it forced me to be like, okay, I gotta figure some shit out. And then, you know, owe it to you for that, man. Like that shit.
Well, it's mutual. Because,
yeah, no, for sure.
You know, having you guys there sparked the interest for me to go hard on what I was doing. I think it was mutual. I think you need to see everybody
working.
Yeah, I would say like, and I think at one point, and shout out to Marty, he felt a little like he was like, man, I'm not just a photographer. Like I'm more than that. And, like, and I was like, bro, I know that's what you're more than that, but we gotta understand, we gotta play our best cards right now for where and I think guys, people should relate to this. Like, if you got crew or whatever, you got somebody, it's okay. Like, and I remember, and I think about this. I don't know if he's ever told you this. I sat Darian down because I remember I was rapping, I was making music, Marty was making music, Darian was making music. And I remember I called Darian one way, and I don't know, it wasn't like I think it was the chill, but it was pick something up. But we sat down at my dining room table at my mom's house in upstairs, and I said, bro, look, I don't know what it is, but you have it.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, you have whatever it is. I like to make music too, but I'm not as good as you.
Yeah, he got that thing.
Yeah, I was like, I'm willing to kind of like put myself behind you and be like, you go, let's put our efforts behind you.
You first. And then
like, I'll be a supplement. Like, I don't care because I see that the winning play here is you on top. And I remember just like being like, you know, thank you for that.
Yeah, because that's some real shit. Because some people don't know how to play that role or play that position or just understand when they gotta be the Scottie Pippen instead of the Jordan.
Right.
You know, and for reference, the logo hat is this truck hat right here.
Bring that up.
Yeah. And I'm bearing gifts. I bought this.
You need any water refill or anything like that?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tommy, can you bring me a Corona, please? I cannot hop that far.
I don't think she heard you.
Hey, why don't you bring me I don't care who does it. If you want to do it, probably can. But. Can you bring me a Corona, please, out of the fridge? But yeah, so kids or people, whatever. If you and your friends are creative, you know, get together, talk about shit. Especially when you're young, we were all 22, 23.
Early 20s, yeah.
Had regular jobs, but just would come together and meet on the things that we all were passionate about. And we knew that each other were passionate about, and we just push each other towards those things and just dive deep into them, keep going. Like,
Yeah, we were just trying to figure shit out.
Yeah, we were honestly just young, trying to figure.
With a lot of great ideas and a lot of moments, and I think our relationship got a lot stronger from that shit. You know what I mean? You added some structure to our lives, and we were a little bit all over the place and just trying to figure it out. And that structure of having those Wednesday meetings really did a lot for me. I ain't gonna hold you.
And then those recording sessions too, where we're all just just
vibing.
I think about now, even Brad was there,
Oh yeah, hell yeah, for them listening parties and shit like that. Munch, MJ.
Like everybody
was there. Lord Barry.
And
I know that shit was impressionable on them too. Yeah. Because now Lord Barry got his brand, Baltimore versus everybody. So it's just like, that shit helped out a lot.
That thinks about even like the days back to shout out to Bo and Garen.
Mm-hmm.
I know Bo doing this thing with Game.
Yes, he is. You gotta get him on here.
I would love to get him on here. That would be wild. I know he's everywhere and anywhere now. But we were all. It's just like I feel like everyone that kind of did come up and is starting to do well. And I actually want to. That's a good segue into. I want to talk about 25th Street because now the brand.
Well, did you?
Well, in a second, I'll talk about 25th.
Did you want to tap into the comeback of the brand?
That's what I would say. First thing I actually do want to talk about is, so you start the brand.
Yeah, I took the break.
And then you come back.
Mm-hmm. And I came back with a vision,
Right. You come back after kind of taking a hiatus and thinking about things.
Yeah, thinking about things, experiencing like doing research, studying brands, and just seeing how they move.
You studied?
Hell yeah.
Who did you research? Who did you research and what did you research?
I researched for L.R.L. Because I noticed the one thing about him that really stood out to me a lot when it came to him and BBC was that everything was in-house. This was before he had contracts with different boutiques and shit like that. He solely only sold his merch out of his own stores, solely only sold his merch on his own websites for a while. And that was something that made me want to have that type of attitude and agenda that, man, all right, I need to get a website. There's this brand called Johnny Cupcakes. I don't know if you're familiar with the brand. It was a cupcake with a crossbone under it. I think he was based out of Boston or some shit like that.
That sounds like some bathing apron.
Yeah, so he had a brand. But I just related to him so much because I watched his story and I remember he started out of his mother's house printing his t-shirts and shit like that the same way that we did, to then opening up a storefront in Boston, to then he moved to London, he got one in LA. So like just seeing those different brands and watching their come up stories and stuff like that, I just figured out what I wanted for us and just how I wanted us to present ourselves. And I linked in real hard on not only the designs, but most importantly, the marketing. So I don't know if you remember, when I did make my comeback, the first comeback was when we did the loyalty commercial.
Right, which I was a part of.
Yes, you were.
Thank you.
Started a commercial.
You can check on my Instagram for that if you want, Early J. You know what I'm saying? It's on there. Just scroll down a little bit. It was a long time ago.
And that shit was totally different from anything that anybody was doing in the city that had.
It was
brand.
cool, man.
I highlighted everybody in the clip because everybody had their own thing that they did.
Facts.
So in the commercial, it started off with me walking outside to the Jeep that Sierra had. Shout out to Sierra. And I hopped in the Jeep and my shirt wasn't showing. And then I pulled up on Bread and Munch, and they were just sitting leaning on the corner on the car, and I gave them the L.R.L handshake. That was the way we introduced the handshake, and they had the trucker hats on. Everybody in the video had a trucker hat on because I wanted to introduce the trucker hats because they were our staple piece, and I also wanted to introduce the new logo, which was the loyalty tee. So I went around to everybody. MJ, he was in the field up overly, like doing football drills.
I remember that,
he had the hat on.
Shout out to MJ.
Marty was in the middle of doing a fake photo shoot. I wanted to highlight that he take pictures, and he had the hat on. Darian was in the studio recording. I wanted to highlight that he was an artist.
I was smoking.
Exactly.
I was smoking. I'm about to take a bottle after soon, but
enough said. And then that was it. And that was the way that I came back with it. And then after that, I didn't stop.
When did you? Because there's a time between you came back and then you got the storefront. When did you decide like I'm gonna get a storefront? When was that? Well, like what point? Like, was there like a dollar amount that you were like, I need to hit, or like was there?
So I was saving my money and shit.
Like what was it?
I was saving my money. I was growing a brand. I started having pop-up shops. You remember you helped me with that shit too.
I remember the pop-up shops.
So we had these real creative pop-up shops where like when we would drop different collections, all the setups of the pop-up shop would have their own theme. It was a Crayola thing. We ordered like these big ass life-size Crayola crayons and put them in front of the Crayola merch. It was a construction design. We stole orange construction cones and caution tape and wrapped it around the rack that the t-shirts was hanging on, et cetera, et cetera. But I had a couple of them. And after having a couple of them, I saw that, oh shit, if I say that I'm going to be set up here to sell merch, X amount of people gonna come up and they gonna buy the clothes. So that helped build the confidence in me to say, it's time for me to get a brick and mortar. So searched for a while. My mother, my father helped me. Nothing really like stuck out. And then stumbled upon 25th Street. And the first thing that caught my eye was that Taste This was there on the corner.
I mean, that place can cook some goddamn.
Yeah, shout out to Craig.
Shout out to Taste This, yo. Eat it and go to sleep, but that's a.
Yeah.
Hopefully they sponsor us one day.
No, definitely.
Here, but.
Yeah, we gotta get them to come over here and bring some meals. So,
but go ahead.
Taste This was on 25th Street, and I'm like, oh shit, I can feed off of the foot traffic from him because the majority of the people that I know go there and eat. So, found the building, and my mother and father were like, all right, let's have a meeting. We had a meeting with the landlord. He gave me the rent amount, and they looked at me and they were like, yo, are you sure? And I'm like, listen, I have a feeling in my gut, which I always trust these feelings whenever I get them in my life. It's like very pivotal moments in my life, and this is one of those moments where I knew that this was it. And I'm like, yo, if I do not get this right here, I don't know if I'm gonna ever be successful with this brand. This is the spot. I know it. Yeah. I want it. Let's get it. I'm gonna figure it out.
Were the other brands there already?
I was the first.
Continue, sorry.
First one on 25th Street. That's why it's like a little insider. They call me like the mayor of 25th Street.
And no, it was mayor of Buffalo. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So that was that. I was the first on the block and set up shop. Did a grand opening. Gave a speech. It was a couple days after my birthday. I teared up. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah.
After that weekend was over with, crickets. Nobody was coming to the store. I'm in there.
Really?
It's cold. It's the winter time. I'm in there every single day, and I'm getting one client maybe a week. People still hitting my phone, trying to get me to come and meet them to sell merch to them outside of the trunk of my car. So I didn't realize how important it was to make sure that I make people know that I'm making a transition from selling out of the car to actually having a store.
So what is that feeling like as an entrepreneur? You made this risk. You're like, and I'm coming back. Actually, I want to ask on camera, but what's that feel like? You're a young entrepreneur. You just made this big risk. You're sure it's gonna work because of your gut feeling.
Yeah.
And it's crickets.
Crickets, man. That shit was probably one of the tough. It was tough, bro, because ego kick in at that point, and it's just like, shit, I don't want to feel like I'm failing. I've seen so many brands open up stores, whether they big brands or local brands, and then they shut down. I don't want to be that guy. Like I done jumped out there. You know how I was back then. I'm popping shit. I'm arrogant, man. Yeah, we got a store now, blah, 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 but nobody is coming and seeing me. And I mean, it was like a bit of disappointment, but also I still had a little bit of confidence in the brand because of the fact that people were still reaching out. They just wasn't accustomed to having to come to a store to come and get the merch.
Changing buyers.
Yeah, it was a tough battle because I would still go meet people because I had to make money.
Really?
Even though I had a store, I had to make money. So one day it just clicked like, yo, I can't keep doing this shit because I'm working backwards. Like I'm falling short on rent. I'm asking my parents to help me out with the rent, and thankfully, I had such a strong support system that they still helped me out with the rent and shit. So then one day it clicked, and I came up with two ideas. The first idea was I'm going to start making people meet me at the store to buy the merch, but make it seem like we're meeting out of the trunk. So that when they do buy the merch out of the trunk, is, hey, yo, I don't do this no more. Next time you want to come and see me, this is where the store is at. So that was the one way that I did it.
Wow, okay.
The second idea was, what worked for you before? Pop-up shops. So when you used to have these pop-up shops at these random buildings, people would randomly pull up to these buildings and shop with you. Start having pop-up shops at your own store because that's where the store is. And that's how you're going to get people to come. Duh. But it was like, in my fucking face.
Okay, now that, not that it didn't make sense before, because, I'm going to come eat some food and get some drinks and then shop and go home. I'm feeling good. I had a few drinks.
Yeah.
I got some good shit I can wear tonight if I'm going out.
And they don't even understand that what you're referencing in regards to these pop-up shops, because the pop-up shops that we used to have at the store is like,
oh man, they're like that was like going to like I related to going like a family cookout, honestly. We're gonna talk about this more, but like his events. Baltimore is known for its violence.
Yeah, for sure.
We all know that.
Drugs.
It's drugs and violence and stuff. This guy's able to throw parties, throw events I don't think I've ever been to an event or heard of an event that he's had that has any violence.
Nope.
Like,
Nah.
like it is truly what it's when it says love, respect, and loyalty. Like that's what you're gonna get from like every person there. Like every time I showed up,
It's all love.
it's all that. So
Yeah.
I think that in itself, you would be able to accomplish that.
Yeah, it
In a
definitely
city like this,
It's tough. And don't get me wrong. We've had our little tips or
Of course.
disagreements and moments inside of events, but they vet it instantly out of respect. You know what? My fault. See, my fault. Deal. Whomever was a part of the event. I'm not gonna disrespect y'all like that.
so you had an instance where people kind of after kind of been like, "Look,
women
I'm
and stuff
sorry,"
like that. Yeah, they have
Speak
apologized.
to it if you have.
Absolutely.
Not you don't usually name. I don't want to put nobody under the bus.
Yeah, it's been situations where girls might have not seen eye to eye about different things because the majority of our parties is always women.
So it's again. So when you're inviting multiple women from
that you're
different,
dealing with and different cliques and
so let's just paint a scenario and you tell me how this would go. You're talking. This could be when you're 19, when you're in your 20s,
I'm
whatever.
talking to Ashley, and Ashley got a group of 3 girls that are her friends. But I'm also talking to Brittany, and Brittany got a group of 4.
These are hypothetical names.
Hypothetical
by the way.
names, obviously.
All right.
And then they all come to the party. But they all have the wherewithal that, okay, Ashley deal with C out of this clique, and Brittany
there.
and Brittany deal with C out of this clique. And he got us both here.
Right.
And now I'm in a party, and I'm catering to both.
Do you think they know? They know.
Absolutely.
They
It's
know
obvious
that you
as
are.
shit because, of course, I'm 19 and 20, so I'm definitely not being the smoothest about this shit, you know.
Young guys,
Tighten up.
tighten up. Take this as notes. Like
Yeah.
when you know if you gamble and hit up multiple girls and then they end up going to the bar that you're at or something like that.
Yeah. Treat everybody the same. even scale.
So, all right, so that happens.
Yeah, that happens. And then I mean sometimes
How do you navigate that? Like,
man, it's an art to
do
this
you
shit.
not? Do
Yeah.
you not? So do you not go home with either of them, or do you just like? How do you? If there's a like, how do you invite? You have to invite girls as you're a promoter.
Yes, of course. And then there's expectations at the end of the night as to whether or not who he's going home with.
Exactly, because you invited.
Because you invited me. So I'm expecting at the end of the night, even if you don't go home with me, if we go out to eat afterwards, something you come in. So it's been times when we've gone what the shit is called, Valentino's at the party. And because I can't duck both of them, now they both are there at Valentino's. But we got multiple.
It's a spot though.
It's a spot though. So it's
though.
multiple tables. Everybody is eating and fellowshipping together. And I just might have 2 women that I deal with in the same restaurant after the party.
And then what?
And then you choose, or they choose for you, because sometimes attitudes might occur like, she's still here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. I'm good, and I'm gone. Or you made a decision for me, so now I'm gonna just go ahead with her. Or your phone died.
So you're single. You're throwing parties. You have a clothing brand.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of responsibility.
What's that like for us? You know, like I said, like
I was having a fucking. But I say, like
You did. I know you did have. You had a girlfriend.
They had a girlfriend, but
times.
I say the height of my single life was my challenger days, is what I call them.
Yeah, I remember those days.
So
I remember pulling up, and it was White Charlie, right?
No.
I thought it was white.
It was charcoal gray. No, I had a white station wagon, the Honda station wagon.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that was what was white, but the Challenger was charcoal gray.
All right, bet.
So,
That was nice though.
Man, that shit was crazy. So imagine 20-something Challenger store.
Shout out to Time Girls, by the way. Yeah.
Shot o'clock.
Bring those over.
Challenger, 20-something, my own store, and I'm having parties. I mean, I'm having my way, you know, and just not even at the events, outside of the events.
What advice would you give to a young guy who's like in that same kind of position? He's 20 something like that.
Enjoy it.
He's having a fun time, making some money.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it?
Absolutely. Take
Just
it all
enjoy
in.
it.
Enjoy it. Don't because you don't want to live with regrets when you finally find that special somebody that you're in a relationship with and you feel like you still not done with that. So have your way, have a ball, don't lock yourself in, and then when you're ready and you feel like you're ready, then.
But if you had to give him a piece of advice when you saying, all right, so you're gonna deal with a bunch of girls at that age. What advice you?
You definitely gotta be smart, be respectful, be responsible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Strap up, of course.
Guys.
Definitely. Yeah, you got to be honest too. Don't lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Women love honesty. Whether they say they mad at you or not, if they really like you or they really want to deal with you, they gonna stick around. But be honest. Don't lie to these women out here.
Was it hard having relationships when you were doing party stuff?
Hell yeah, it was hard having a
Like,
relationship.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
temptation presents itself.
Because you still have to. you
still have to socialize,
get the girls out.
Get the girls out. You still got to be friendly. You know, call me Mr. Friendly. They say I'm too friendly. So that's just who I am. I'm a people person.
I got called Mr. Cool at one point.
Oh shit, that's a good name though.
Mr. Friendly, Mr. Cool.
Mr.
We
Cool.
pretty good.
Man, we work all together. We had some nights, Sean. Yeah, we definitely had some nights. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy, but you know,
Easy, baby.
It's
not easy.
You might got to put that at the bottom of the screen.
Easy, baby.
But I mean, it was. I'm cool. I handled it well.
No regrets.
Nah, no regrets.
No regrets.
Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen.
I'm behind the bar, so I gotta flap it over for that.
Understood. Yeah.
No, I mean, again. I think that my college experience is what your college experience. Well,
what my life was like outside of college.
I did. Sure, guys. Let's just say I don't know what the statute of limitation is, but in college I was a supplier of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Good things.
You was a man on campus. Yeah.
So it was nice because at any point, I had like a couple thousand, sometimes 7,000. So we got in touch.
Yeah.
So we're going. Me and my boy Vinny, he wasn't involved. So. But we're going. I'm like, yo, what we drinking this weekend? We going to get a bottle of Clico.
Oh yeah, for sure.
1920. Dumb. Clico and Patron. Like,
you the man.
Just pulling up like
Clico and Patron wasn't even in my view until like 25 and up. So yeah, imagine that in 19 and 20 and on
we
college.
Pull it up, and in college we got the. I'm in a fraternity. I was in a fraternity, so we're in the basement. You go downstairs, and all you do is go downstairs to party, and we pulling up, and I got a bottle of Glico on my hand. You know what I mean? And
all eyes on you. Who the fuck is this guy?
I got 7 joints rolled up.
Who the fuck is this guy?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just chilling, and then I'm going out to a party to make some money.
Exactly.
If you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so. It's a good time. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the mentality is the same.
Yeah.
We just took different routes.
Yeah. I was a plug for fun and the vibes.
Exactly.
You was a plug for fun and
the vibes.
Same difference. Yeah, for sure.
So it all worked out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So that transition to now, you've got multiple. So now you're working with multiple places, right? Because this is fast forward a little bit. Fast forward. So we skipped from probably 22 to.
Yeah, like
28.
28, yeah. 28 was when I think kind of like.
Because when did you say when in your mind were you like, the movement is, I don't need to work nowhere else?
Oh shit.
Because I remember us having little conversations
about me quitting and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
And then I think one day you were just like, yeah,
I'm just done.
I'm done. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, so I mean the store was doing really good. I was starting to make more money in a day at the store than I would make in my paycheck in 2 weeks.
Profit or just revenue?
Both. So
say less.
Yeah, in a day though, in comparison to a check. I was getting paid bi-weekly. So I was getting paid bi-weekly, and the money I would make in the store on a Friday,
right.
And I would work my job for 2 weeks before I got paid. I would make that amount in a day at the store. So
Lord.
I'm making that amount of money in a day.
It's
a mind fuck, right? But still, a job is a safety net. It's a sense of security. You always going to get this guaranteed paycheck. At this point, I got car payments. I got my own cell phone bill, but I'm still living at home with my parents. And
when did you move out into your own spot?
Right before I was about to have my daughter. But so I can get there. We're going to build up to that.
All right,
so,
bet.
All right, so we had this space. Now I've been saying it for years at my job. I'm telling all my coworkers, yo, I'm about to quit this year. This the year, and then it just don't happen. I worked a security job for I think like 4 years. So it started to get taxing on me because I'm having events. I got to work my store, and then I still got to work my job. Now, granted, my job loved me so much they only allow me to work Monday through Wednesday, but I'm doing 12-hour shifts. So I'm still getting my 40. Basically,
yeah.
But and then I do my store from Thursday to Sunday. So I started feeling like, I use this analogy all the time. I started feeling like Superman and Clark Kent. So when I'm at work, I got a security uniform and I'm Clark Kent. But then I'm at my store, I can kick my feet up on my counter, watch my customers come in to shop with me, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm having pop-up shops in here. I'm having random parties in here. In the middle of the week, we drinking from giving out.
Life is good.
Life is good, but then I gotta go to work and then listen to somebody else tell me what to do. And then I'm doing all of this stuff, and I just felt like a hamster on a wheel, and I'm like burnt out. I'm tired as shit, and it's like, yo, something gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm not about to stop having these parties. I'm not about to let this store go, so I'm gonna have to let this job go. So I remember, and this was when I'm in a relationship with my lady at this point, and she was still living in Philly. We went to brunch one day, and we walking and we talking, and I was just like, yo, I think I'm gonna quit my job. And she was just like, you sure it's time? And I was just like, yeah, it's time. And I just can't take it anymore. Like, it's too overwhelming. And of course, she said to me, you know, if you need anything, you fall short, I got you. I'm here for you. Just know that. I'm like, look, man, you ain't never got to worry about that. I'm going to make sure that I take care of my business. And I was like, because my thing is, I can't keep my foot on first base and try to steal second. These are my exact words that I said to her. Fast forward to the next day, I drive back home from Philly to Baltimore. I was a big fan of the Joe Budden podcast when Roy and Mar was on there.
I remember it.
I listened to the new episode as I'm driving down from Philly to Baltimore, because the episode's about an hour and some change. I ride from Philly to Baltimore about an hour and a half. The first 2 minutes of this episode, Joe Budden goes on his rant, and he says, you entrepreneurs out there, you just got to weather the storm. You just got to do what you got to do to make it happen, to become successful, because you can't steal second base if your foot is still on first. When he said that, it was just like, what the fuck? I just said, and I heard that analogy from somebody else. So him to say the exact same thing that I just said to my girl was like, oh shit, that's the sign. I stopped the podcast and I called my supervisor instantly, and I said, hey bro, I'm just gonna let you know I'm quitting the job and I'm gonna do it for my birthday. That's gonna be my treat to myself. This like in October, my birthday in December. So I gave him like a 2 to 3 month heads up. All right, Corey, that's cool. You know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If that's what you want to do, that's your thing. He not believing me, because I've had conversations with him about this. Like, everybody at my job know that this is what I do. So they look at me crazy as shit at work, because they'll see me having my events on Wednesdays, turned up and it's lit, and then they like, what the fuck? Like, you did that last night and you came in here to work? Or I see a lot of people came to your store and shopped with you this weekend. So they all know about me outside of work.
They see
it on, they see the progress, they see it on social media. So anyway, I told all of them. But once I told everybody, and I told my mother, and I told my girl, and I told my boss, it was like a weight lifted off on my shoulder. Like, oh shit, I'm really about to do this. So then I just started grinding extra hard. So I'm stacking my money, saving, because I know it's about to lead up to this day when I'm officially about to quit my job.
Exactly.
Boom. So I quit.
Yeah.
Felt like the best feeling in the world. I go out with my coworkers for a happy hour. I'm supposed to drive to Philly because it's my birthday and I'm celebrating with my lady for the weekend. On my way to Philly, I get into the worst car accident ever.
I remember this. Yeah, your legs. Yeah.
So, how bad this car accident is, I'm falling asleep driving because I'm tired, because I've been busting my ass, stacking my money, had a little bit to drink, and the car flips over on the opposite side of the highway. I land on the side of the highway, but I land on the side. On a, what is this called?
It was the median? Was it the median?
Yeah, on the median, but I'm on the side. I flip over the median and I land on the side of the highway, so I'm not in the middle of the highway. Like, oh shit. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm fine. So I get out the car, I look at the side of my car, nothing is wrong with my side. I walk across the highway because I see a guy had pulled over, and he's like, hey bro, you okay? I'm an off-duty cop, just want to make sure you're good. So I'm like, yeah man, it's fine, I just need to call my insurance company, call my mom, let her know what's going on. So I get on the phone with my mom and I go, the car flipped over several times and landed on its feet. So I call my mom. As I'm walking across the highway, bro, I get hit by a car.
I thought it happened in Paris.
No, I get hit by a car on that same highway, right? Boom, phone slide. I hear my mother like, Corey. I'm like, Mom, I'll call you right back. I'm like dragging myself across the highway. People pulling over now like, are you okay? I can feel like blood dripping from my head. They call a helicopter. I get heli back to a hospital in Delaware.
Oh Lord.
The day that I quit my job.
So you feeling like you're like.
So my girl calling me, she can't get in contact with me. I call her like, look, don't call my mother. I just got into a real bad accident. I got hit by a car on the highway. Meet me at this hospital in Delaware. So she come pull up and be at the hospital in Delaware. They patch me up. They put me on crutches. You know, give me X-rays and all that shit. So now I can barely walk.
You got the. I thought it happened.
Gets to her crib. Wake up in the morning. My gift from my girl was a suitcase with my logo on it, and inside of the suitcase was plane tickets to go to LA for the first time because I wanted to go to LA because I felt like I wanted to do that. I'm in fucking LA on crutches.
You're in LA though.
Huh?
You're in LA though.
I'm in LA though, right? So car's total. I don't have a car. I quit my job.
Yeah.
Can't work. And then I'm like in a real dark space. It was like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
You talk to me about this.
Yeah, I'm in a real dark space. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I got into this car accident. I just quit my job. Just like the biggest moment of my life. I'm self-employed. Like, what's going on? So now I'm like struggling to like, get around. That shit is annoying as fuck. I can't drive.
Yeah.
I got like PTSD because of the car accident. So it's just like I'm stressed. I'm going to the store every day, but I'm just like not happy. And then one day I just kind of like had to shake out of that shit. And then I finally got myself back together. I'm off the crutches. I'm starting to work back out again, getting to the gym because I was a real big gym guy, reading my books and shit. Pandemic hit. So, everybody is losing their shit. They worry. What the fuck is going to happen? You got a store. They saying that small businesses and big businesses got to shut down. How you going to survive? Just like, I don't know. So, because a person hit me on the highway, I get a check for that. It's like $6,000,
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad if you take it.
And I keep it, and I'm just like, I gotta lace up my boots and take this money and dump it into the business and figure shit out because I don't have nothing right now. Dump it into the business. I remember we all just had this moment where the guys that are now on the block were just like, when you thinking about opening it back up again? Because I know we've been closed for like the past 2 weeks, but I'm thinking about saying fuck that shit and open it back up. And I'm just like, I'm thinking about saying fuck that shit and open it back up too. So we all agree like, cool, we just gonna do it, but we just gonna keep it low key. We open up, and because there's no malls open.
That's when the 25th Street shit happened.
Right, so it's no malls. Well, first of all, the 25th Street thing was already a thing. I had deemed us to be the 25th Street gang.
No, I was talking about, remember the
yeah. So we was already a thing, because like when we go to events, we would wear our clothes, take pictures together, call ourselves the 25th Street gang.
Is it competitive or is it more?
No, it's definitely
like y'all
lift each other up type of thing.
Or you like go down and see?
Yeah, go down and see them because I don't got that colorway hoodie that you need.
They got
so we do that, and then
think about that same street, bunch of, and we're gonna take a break in a second, but same street, all doing the same kind of things and working together and understanding that it is competitive.
Yeah, it is competitive. And that's your
but at the same token,
we vowed that we was going to change the narrative because back in the day when local brands used to have their brands, they were like competing against one another.
Right.
Like everybody wanted to be the man, but we all on the same block, and it's just like, man, we could eat together. And it took a while for our customers to even get accustomed to that shit because like they would come to the store, and I do this thing when somebody make a purchase, I do a boomerang, and they would put their bag down on the floor from the other store. But I told them no, pick it up because I want people to show that you shop with me. And you shop with them too today. Don't just show my bag, show their bag too. And then we just said that we would just always make sure we show each other love and send customers to each other. Yeah. But then when the pandemic hit and we decided to open back up, because we were the only stores that were available for people to shop, the block just caught on fire. Because everybody in the city had to come to us to get clothes if they wanted to wear something somewhere. Now, granted,
you want something fresh to wear.
Yeah, something fresh to wear, and then that was the best financial year of the brand for me that year. But the storm
pandemic.
But the storm that I had to go through from crashing the car, not being able to walk for a little while, and just not being in a good mental space, and I knew that was affecting the business.
The Chinese farmer proverb. You ever heard it?
No, what was that?
Come on, you've heard it. No?
Maybe.
Alright. But it's simple. I'll go through it real quick. Chinese farmer, old Chinese farmer. He's, one day one of his horses runs off. All his neighbors come to him, they say, Isn't that's so bad? He's like, maybe. The next day, that horse that ran off brings back 7 new wild horses. Everyone comes, neighbors, oh my God, isn't this so great? Yeah, maybe. And I'm like, okay, whatever, this guy's weird. Next day, his son is trying to break one of the new horses, riding him and stuff. Bucks off, breaks his leg. All the neighbors come, oh my God, isn't this so horrible? Your son broke his leg. And he's like, maybe. And they're like, okay, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? So then the next day, conscription officers come from the army to grab his son because they're having a draft. Can't take him because his leg's broken. And all the people come up and they're like, oh my God, isn't this so great? You can't go. Maybe. The idea is that you never know what is in store for you. Right? So you may have needed to go through that process of going through the accident. Not hitting rock bottom, but going through hell. So
going through hell,
Because again, that's a funny thing somebody says is if you're going through hell, why stop now?
Yeah,
like, if you go through hell, yeah, you're right. If you're in hell,
it can't get no worse.
It can't get worse. So just keep on going.
It's only up from here.
Just kind of change. It's like you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and you don't know what you need.
And I think I needed that moment.
Why?
I was moving too fast. I wasn't organized. I was partying hard. I was promoting. I was trying to make the business be better. I needed to slow things down. I think that was a moment for me to say, slow your shit down, because now you're about to have a bigger responsibility on your shoulders, because all you have is what you have or what you create to allow you to have, a revenue stream or success. I guess me having a job and me knowing I got that safety net, I could blow money easy because I know a check coming. And I was just moving real fast back then. Like, I wasn't really getting any sleep, from me just like pushing myself and just trying to like, stack my bread and have as much events that I could possibly have to be in a position of where so I can handle not working for myself. Not working for anybody else and working for myself. And I think that set me down and gave me some time to reflect.
Yeah, I can't see you working for any fucking body.
Yeah.
I can see you being like a partnership type guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you guys collab on something. Yeah. Like I said, I even try to put you in front of people that collab on certain deals and stuff like that I think are like just
yeah, that's me.
A1, right? Mm-hmm. But all right, we'll get into right now. We're gonna take a break, but we're gonna get into when we come back. Just like more current stuff now, what you're doing now, talking about what partying's like now. Yeah. Maybe get a few gem stories in there real quick.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then just plug some things that we're talking about, plug some things you're doing now, because I know you got Chase of Summer coming up. I know you're doing stuff at Annex Lounge right now, but maybe you got stuff cooking that you don't even know. Yeah. But I also want to touch real quick on just some of that music aspect we were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
No way. We're definitely going to have him back on. Definitely gonna have him back on when we have Trey.
Yeah, because we can have everybody. And I'm sure, and I would love to hear what Trey would want to know.
Oh,
because
Trey,
he was there, but he wasn't there.
Trey was like that, like just like that invisible big brother. He just always saw what we were doing, and like didn't quite understand it at times.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I know Trey hated that shit when we was having.
Oh, something. What the fuck is going on here? Like,
bro, I want to come home and just be at peace.
Yeah, he wants to go sleep because we both had like 9 to 5s at that point. We were just like, he want to go home, he wanted to sleep.
Yeah, I don't want these niggas coming over my house after I've been at work all day when I just want to come here, relax, and have a drink and kick it. Exactly. And y'all playing music or being loud, talking about ideas, for sure. So I would love to
get into that real quick, and then we'll get the girls on real quick just to get some chatting in about partying.
Yeah, hell yeah, I would love to talk.
Get some there questions for you, maybe they may have. Once I introduce them, we got Tanya back in the building. Maya, I don't know if my fake wifey list is gonna make an appearance on camera, but we'll see. All right, we'll be back in a second. Where'd he go?
Last time was chaotic.
I know. Last time I got fucked up.
We went and got
I heard some
pretzels, and then we were just taking videos.
Oh my god,
in the middle of pretzels thing.
It's not good.
That was the one where we
probably said some shit that you shouldn't have said.
I definitely said some shit. Kids, I definitely said some shit that I shouldn't have said.
No fucking good, my guy.
So we're back.
You back
with my boy.
Yes,
Cee Baby.
It's been a minute, my guy.
The boy who lived.
Yo, I gotta change that because it's been an L.R.L. gone in my bio for a little bit.
It is, but
so I'm gonna change it to the boy who lived.
You gotta change it to the boy who lived.
I'm gonna change it to the boy who lived. Yeah,
that's like I said. And listen, people can quote me on this. I am gonna go back to the rap game. I'm gonna go back and rap again. I'm going under the moniker Demon Time. That's it.
Interesting.
Listen.
That's a totally different perspective.
I know. Listen.
From early J.
Exactly. Demon Time is the name is going to be. My first debut album is going to be called Demon Time. Very self name. Then
I'm interested. Have you been recording?
I've been writing.
Oh man, I'm ready. I'm ready to listen.
It's a totally different vibe though. Like before I was kind of more. No, I just like Demon Time, like the idea of just like I'm coming in and just like fuck shit up. You know what I'm saying?
If that's where you at in life. I think you rap. You rap where you were at back then, though. Yeah. And it was great, by the way.
Thank you. That's right. I appreciate that. I hit my stride because I think me and Brad we recorded some shit like right towards the end, like when I kind of stopped and I finally hit my stride. But
you and Brad together, yo.
I like the way he thinks.
Same.
It's different.
I like the way you write.
Thank you.
Like you're really good. Like you could ghostwrite.
I was just thinking. Honestly, I was thinking like that's.
I wish that was something that I didn't that I thought about back then, like when I think about your music back then, you could have ghosted.
I could have just ripped over that because I'm fine with it. I don't care.
And Darian just couldn't fathom
He would not.
But I think if you would have at least written treatments maybe for possibly like structures of songs, he might have accepted it. Like
that's fair.
We'll
talk, man. We'll talk about it. But like, that's fair, and I think that's more of like my lane would be right now.
Like what they call when people do that. What is it called? A reference, like reference tracks.
Yeah.
I think you would have been great for that.
Honestly,
still
that's
10.
Perfect. That's what I would be down with. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the first one will be Demon Time. Second one will be called The Boy Who Lived. Mm-hmm. The third one will be called Demon Time 2, and then I would end it on the fourth one, EP. And they would be like 5 to 7 song mixtapes, bro, EPs. And I would end it with one called like Kill the Boy. What was this like? Kill the Boy so the man can live. Some shit like I don't know, some dumb shit.
I'm with you.
But the first 3 I had it out. I don't know what sorry, just so you know, we have 3 random girls. Not random, but they're just doing their own thing.
Call them random.
I said random.
You called y'all random.
But I said no, not random.
What a friend.
This is episode 1 of this podcast.
I didn't say. I meant to not say.
Come on now.
But anyway. So yeah. Anyway, that's the thing about that. But as far as the music goes, why'd you stop kind of being as much of a push behind the music side of doing things as you were before? Because
with Dave on and Dave? Well, go ahead.
Yeah, with both of them, I guess.
We about to say
at one point you were just like you were fully in, and like I thought for some point you're gonna have now L.R.L. music.
Yeah,
like that.
Me too. They stopped, so I had to stop.
Okay.
I didn't have anything to push. You know, if I'm being honest with you, you know, those guys are very, very talented, and some of the 2 of the best artists that I've ever like got the chance to be around, listen to musically. Dave on song structure and pen.
That guy, man. His videos were just
all our vision.
You were part of that
what
too?
The visual, of course.
I knew you were in.
I mean, not of course. I was very arrogant. Sorry about that, but you know my expertise in the space of marketing and visuals. Just like we didn't even touch down on like the commercials that I do for the brand and shit. Well, we did the loyalty one, but you know the other commercials and shit that I've done before in the past. So, and most recently, you know, like the commercial that I did for the women's workout gear, or the commercial that I just recently did for the sweatsuit. So yeah, I was
so
a
for
big.
A second, talk about all the kind of the range of clothing that you offer over there, because you do a lot now.
Or did you want to talk about the music with them? Because we kind of skipped over that. Oh.
Let's go with music, and then but I do want to touch on.
All right, yeah, whatever you want to do.
I do want to touch on real quick, just all the kind of offerings of it stem from t-shirts and jackets.
Oh yeah. It's t-shirts
to workout clothes now to you know socks to basically everything besides your shoes can be supplied by this guy.
And I will have shoes one day. That's on the bucket list.
And that's on the bucket list. So
for sure.
Basically, again, I repeat, you go to the store, you can get everything in your outfit needs. I'm talking about you go to L.R.L. on East 25th Street. You get everything you need. You get your sweatshirt, you get your t-shirt, you get your hat.
You get your socks.
You get your socks. You got drawers?
Not yet. I want those too.
Drawers not yet.
Not yet, but I'm working on those.
You get your shorts, you get your socks. All you think is you ask him what kind of shoes should I put on with this, and I guarantee you he has an answer. Like,
yo, that's so funny. So to piggyback off of that, somebody asked me why I do it, and I said just to make people's lives easier. Because if I can provide you with a short, a t-shirt, and a hat, and a sock, and the only thing you got to do is pick out your shoes, that's kind of like the purpose of me making the clothes. They make your life easier. Make it easy for you to get dressed for the day. That's like the purpose of the brand. No bullshit.
Makes it easy for you, the consumer, to just have a good day. Why not?
All about the people.
He's a man of the people. That's another thing I should add on that. The guy who lived, that guy doing things, a man of the people.
Yeah.
You know, he throws a party. He's not just. He's gonna walk around to your table. He's gonna be there. So let's touch on that. Right now, you guys got Euphoria. When you're doing Chasing Summer, you collab with a couple people on that.
Yep, Larry Love, DJ Flow. Shout out to both of those guys. They're my partners when it comes to Chasing Summer.
Shout out to Euphoria too.
Yeah, of course. Allowing us the space to be able to
right down the street.
Yeah, Parker Street.
I'm definitely gonna be there because I'm like I can hear y'all from my apartment.
Oh yeah, it's a vibe.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, you're right there. It's
the
a very nice
first
apartment.
time
By the
I
way.
went to that one Chasing Summer, I pulled up. I'm still living up at I think at Owen Northeast at that point. You need some more water?
Yeah.
Can you bring some more water, please?
Water?
Yes, please. Thank you.
I got a glass. Thank you, madam.
So, damn, what was I saying? I forget.
Chasing Summer.
Chasing Summer. So I pull up. First off, you go if he tells you to come somewhere like on his invite, it's the red carpet treatment all the way through and through. It's no
One more
bullshit.
time?
If he tells you to come somewhere to hang out with him, to listen, to vibe, and to do whatever, and he tells you to come and like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
And do not turn it down.
Don't turn it down. I'm talking because I came through and I'm like, I'm coming through. I brought some blunts. I'm chilling, like, cause Marty was like, yeah, roll up.
Thank you.
And I walk in, like I said, I walk through. She waved me through. I forgot who was working the door.
I don't remember.
I forget it. She waved me through. She's like, I was like, you, like, I'm good. She's like, I don't know who you are. Like, go ahead.
Be Will. Be Will.
Yeah,
Be Will. Yeah.
And she was like, shout out, Be Will.
Soul Sense, women's tennis shoe boutique, Fire Flames, and she's the best personal shopper.
Say it again. Say it twice.
B Will is the shop with B Will. She is the best personal shopper. Anything that you need or you cannot get, she will find that shit for you.
We're gonna tag her on here and make sure that she gets all that love. Because every time I came through, she was like, "Yeah, just keep it going. Don't even stop."
Yeah.
And I just go through, and I come to the table, and then it's just mayhem from there. Just bottles,
hookahs, bottles, women, shots,
everything. Like just.
This is a good vibe.
I remember I left the first one. I was like
overwhelmed, right?
I was just like fucked up. But it was one of the best times I ever had. And I went back. Next, I kept going back.
Repeat consumer.
And it was great too because I got to see a lot of people from around the way that I hadn't seen in forever.
That shit like a big ass family reunion.
It's like a huge family.
It's a huge family reunion. Like 500 people family reunion.
But new people added too.
Ain't no question.
So that was definitely a big part. So you got Chasing Summer.
Yes.
Is that starting back up soon?
Yep. We always crack it open Cinco de Mayo.
That's soon.
Yeah, a couple weeks away.
You started already promoting and stuff? Or
Nah, we like to leave it, the mystery behind it, and the weather's breaking, and then when it's a sunny Wednesday, you'll get the tweets or you'll get the DMs, where's Chasing Summer, where the Chasing Summer flyer, I'm ready, because everybody like anticipating it, and it has its own name.
So let's just break it down, and go as deep as you want to, financially, right? So Chasing Summer happens, right? Talk to me. All right, you get the door.
So the best two are the first one and the last one, of course, obviously, because it's the grand opening and it's the grand finale. I cannot discuss.
I don't want you
the
to go
details of our deal, but what I will say is, no one would ever complain about making that amount of money every Wednesday.
For partying.
For just partying.
So kids.
So basically what you're doing is,
kids,
our job is literally to have fun for a living.
He has made a way, he's finessed the game where he gets paid
to have fun.
Party.
I get paid to party. That's it. To have fun.
Work hard enough, you get paid to party.
Pay to party. That's it. That's it.
But it's on that Wednesday, like you're going up like if you're buying, let's put it this way. If you're buying bottles that night for your table, which you are, how many of the ones comps or you get extra comps because you're?
Of course, we promote it, so we get comps and then discounts and stuff like that.
Right.
So for us, we can't really.
Because I remember one time you were just like, "Yo, I'm short on cash. Like, let me get however much for a bottle." I was like, "Yeah, I got cash. Like, bet."
Boom. And
then you were like, "I'll hit you back tomorrow." I was
hit
like,
you back tomorrow. Bet.
Hit me. Like, I think he hit me before the party was even over, probably.
Yeah, and gave the money right back. Yeah.
But
it can get crazy because sometimes
because it just was flowing like that. It was like, I think that was probably like the 8th bottle or some shit like that. I just didn't plan for it to get that crazy.
It all depending on who's in the section that Wednesday. Because my section, I have my normals, my people who always come, my close ones. But then I might got my friends who just can't pop out every Wednesday. And then when they do come, it's like, because I'm here, we're going to make this a moment. And that's when we get to 8 bottles or we get to 6 bottles. Or I had one of my partners, he came to celebrate his birthday. He bought 2 bottles of Ace and a Douce, and Ace go for $1,000 in Chasing Summer. So you get the gist of things and how crazy it can get.
Yeah, it can get. But if you get to the point where you're buying bottles, it's like, because I'm trying to just give people.
Oh yeah, bottles are ranged. $250 or better, we'd say, per bottle. depending on what you're getting.
Right.
So we talking like.
But you're still coming out on top.
Hell yeah, absolutely. That's crumbs.
So when it comes to the tables and stuff,
That's
right?
no, yeah.
You guys have a deal with them on the tables. I don't care to know what the deal is.
Yeah, we got to deal with them on everything, is what I would say.
On everything.
Yeah, on
What was that like talking
Negotiating
to them about
that
deal? Yeah.
Well, you know what's so funny? I gotta tip my hat to L.R.L, because he and Flo, they were like the orchestrators of this event. They pretty much brainstormed the concept and the idea of it together, and then I was presented the opportunity to work with them because obviously they saw value in what I would bring to the table. The pool that I would bring in. And the deal and stuff was basically kind of like made before I even became a part of it. And then I just became, a person who would gain a percentage off of the profits. And of course, it's just a split in between us three, of course, which is just always, and then that's that. And then, of course, whatever we make from the club. But I tip my hat to those guys for being good businessmen. And then as we continue to have, and as we continue to have it, then of course the deal changes because we're growing and it's becoming a bigger thing. So now we got to renegotiate with the club as to what it is that we get. So when a renegotiation,
when did that happen? When did you go? All right, guys, we got.
I ain't gonna lie. I think we might have renegotiated every single year because it's just growing every year.
And this is the third year or fourth?
Fourth year. I think we've been at it for 4 years.
So you negotiated at the end of the year. You didn't go back after the first couple parties and be like, yo, like.
Oh, that happened one summer, mid-summer. A deal. The things change, and I mean, me being transparent with you, bro. Clubs and stuff like that, they're damn good, and they can be stingy, and they want it to go in their favor. But we strong-minded guys, and we businessmen, and we know our value and we know our worth.
Of course.
And we had to stand on that and make them respect that. And no disrespect to them because they also understood our value and our worth, and they respected the fact that we on our shit and we know our business, and we have a deal where it's a happy marriage. There's no complaints. Everybody's happy life. Happy. But I mean, it's been struggles and learning each other to get there, and then learn each other, and to ask for certain things that just should be no brainers that we didn't have before that now we have now, and everything is everything. Like we don't have no complaints with them guys. It's all good.
Right. And even now with Annex, was that a thing where you guys were like, yo, like, can we do something, or was it like they came to you guys?
Well, so with Annex,
and they were like,
with Annex, Flo brought up Annex to me like a year or so ago, and I liked it, and I felt like it was something that I would consider doing, but I just ended up not acting on it because I just had so much other shit going on.
Of course.
So randomly, every year I have a birthday party. I typically try to at least celebrate my birthday. This summer get crazy, the whole month party and all the way up to New Year's. And last year I decided that I was going to have a celebration for my birthday. First I was saying, I'm not going to do nothing. I don't even care. I'm a dad now, whatever. I don't need to have a birthday party. I've been doing this shit for 30 years. It's cool.
Corona, please.
Oh yeah, Corona. So anyway, I decided to have this party.
Tanya.
And it's been a minute since I've had a party of my own because I have been doing Chasing Summer. And being so successful with that, it's like I don't need to do shit outside of this party-wise. I could just run it up for a summer and then just focus on the merch during the fall and the spring. So I had a birthday party. I had a birthday party in December, and that shit was crazy. And it sparked the fire back in me like, oh shit, I miss this feeling of having my own thing and not partnering with anybody else. So I presented a proposal to Annex of, listen, I'm gonna have my event called Love Vibes.
Thank you.
Once a month here.
10 minutes.
I hate inside parties. I hate having events inside of a club. Yeah. But they have an outdoor space in the back, and I knew they were renovating it. So I said,
is that so we can smoke? Is that why?
Yeah, smoke cigars, smoke hookah. It's my vibe. I remember I used to have my rooftop events.
Yeah.
So that's just my energy. That's my vibe. So I said, all right, we're going to have one once a month from January to when the weather break. And then when you finish renovating the backspace, I want to be the first one to crack it open. And nobody was at Annex doing anything there except for Gunner. Shout out to Gunner who would have Annex on Saturdays. So I built a rapport with the owner, and he allotted me that. And I just had the first one outside yesterday.
And that was
crazy.
We fucked up. We should have pulled up.
We got some footage because this would have been a part of the interview where you would have been cutting to the footage of how it was yesterday. Yeah. What?
I guess it started with Chasing Summer. What's the Annex line? Is there anything cooking now that we should know about?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have Chasing Summer with the fellas on Wednesdays in the summer, and then I'm gonna have Annex, which is my own So I used to call.
Mike working on his own. He likes working on his own.
So Love Vibes was my rooftop party that I used to have a few years ago, but then it stopped because I lost access to the rooftop. So Love Vibes has been what I've been having at Annex. So on Sundays I'll have a day party at Annex called Love Vibes, and then on Wednesdays I've had Chasing Summer. So I'm doing both. Wednesdays with the fellas, and then Sundays by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like, how is it between? I mean, I know the relationship between you guys on East 25th is great. What's the relationship like with do you know Danny?
Yeah.
Certified Fly Guy.
Yeah, I just was at Sugar Ray's on Sunday. Yeah.
He was my AAU coach when I was.
Yeah. He's definitely a hell of a.
He lived behind me. I lived on Benton, and he coached me. He kind of he helped me figure out how to play, he's a good coach. How to play basketball in a way that benefited me the best.
Yeah, Danny don't.
He got me one time out of the game. I'll tell a quick story. We were at AAU games. He used to drive us to the car. He used to drive us to the games in his old school whips. He used to have his old school cars and drive us to the game in his old school whips with his son Danny, who now was at Poly, doing crazy shit.
Yep.
Was a baby. I'm talking about diapers when we would drive us to our games. And one game we going, cause he see me hoop, and knew I could hoop. And I'm at the game and I'm lollygagging, I'm like 13, 14, I'm just like lollygagging, doing whatever. And he takes me out, he's like, what is this? Like,
That
what
sound
are you
like
doing?
that. That's how he talk.
Like, what is this? And I'm like, I'm mad, cause I'm like, you just took me out, like I can hoop, stop. So I'm on the bench, mad as shit, and I'm mad, but I can see him looking down the bench like, all right, so he see me heated, I'm mad. So, all right, come on. Put him back in. He put me in. I'm heated. So I can't hoop. Back. I go out and get I think it was 5 buckets in a row.
Yeah.
Cause I was pissed off.
But that's you though.
And that's
Like,
now I'm like, all right,
yeah,
that's me.
mad.
All right, I need to have a little chip on
Chip on your
that's
shoulder.
me.
I know that to be you.
With everything, most stuff. That's me. I gotta do that. So shout out to Danny, but that relationship's always good between you guys. You guys are all on the same page.
It's funny, Danny has said to me that we need to swap merch Sunday when we were at Sugar Ray's, and I'm like, yo, that's so crazy that we've never done that.
Yeah.
I don't have anything from his brand, and neither does he. So that's actually something that we was going to set up. We was going to make it a thing, showcase the fact that we're going to exchange our merch. So yeah, shout out to Danny for sure. He's been doing this thing for a very long time. That boy know how to throw a party too.
He does lots of stuff. Shout out to Danny, Certified Fly Guy. He does the rooftop joints over at
Wolf Street. Sky Dweller is what it's
Sky
called.
Dweller, yeah.
On Mondays,
Sky
if
Dweller
I'm not
on
mistaken.
Mondays.
Yeah.
And then he does the brunches on
Sundays with Sugar Ray.
Sundays at Sugar Ray.
Yeah, it's a vibe. Yeah, Danny.
Shout out to Danny, my
Yeah.
old AU coach. Used to live behind me.
And Danny don't fucking age neither though. That shit is
Bro, he
crazy.
looked the same as he did when he was back. I might get him on him sometime or something. And I want to get everybody from 25th on here.
Absolutely.
Just talk to them.
I got you. I set the
We'll
play
link it
up.
up and let them know it's legit.
I'm the mayor. I set it up.
The mayor.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, and we're gonna get the girls on here soon, but so what advice would you give young guys? Because I remember I coach basketball, but I have young guys, a young guy who's a great photographer. He said he tried to start his own clothing brand, and he said he just couldn't get things right. But I was like, you tried, and that's all that really matters. But what would you for guys that are in your position where they're popular guys and they're in high school, I guess maybe, and they want to figure out how to. I don't say popular, just popular. You're popular. You're a hustler. You have good wits about you. You have common sense.
Yeah.
How do you capitalize off of that? How do you make that into something? What would advice that you give somebody like that, at 17, 18? What would you?
So it's so funny, right? One of my good friends. Shout out to Black Rico. He has a hookah flavor called Rico Haze. It's my favorite hookah flavor. So Rico, he's not that much younger than me, but he's popular. Funny as shit. You get around him, you're gonna be laughing all day, every day. Super charismatic, great energy. Everybody love Rico. Rico phone book is probably the craziest phone book that I've ever seen in my life. He could talk to a dude that's known for being in the streets, got a lot of money, but then he could also get on his phone, he could call somebody that's in the NFL. And everybody's gonna answer the phone on the first ring. because he don't want nothing from nobody. He just is who he is. He's just a great spirit. He's a great guy to be around. Okay. So I used to tell him, like, bro, you have a thing. He was known for selling seafood salad because his mother made the seafood salad. Okay. Crazy as shit. It's like he sell it every single time. And I'm like, yo, you have a thing. You have a niche. There's something about you. You need to figure out what that shit is and capitalize on it. Yeah. And we used to have these conversations all the time. Next thing I know, this nigga pop out of nowhere with his own hookah flavor. Man, he sells out every fucking time that he posts on Instagram that he has flavor available from East Baltimore to West Baltimore. Now, he also made it to where as though he's so popular with the hookah flavors that he sells kilos of his flavor to the clubs in the city.
Jesus Christ.
So
that's
now,
some like legal work shit for you kids.
And
there, like.
I got him. Well, he was already doing business with Annex, so now because I'm doing business with Annex, I made it my business to make sure that they got into a deal and a contract with him so that he continuously. So
you're blessing others with your business.
Hell yeah, that's my guy. So it's like, bro, I need you in here because I love your flavor. The flavors that they got are shitty. They got orange mint and a house flavor. The house flavor cool, but nobody like orange mint. But it's like easy to make and it's just like the thing. So I'm like, bro, we needed you back in here. So I made it to where though in my deal, every time that I'm there, every Sunday, they have to buy a kilo of Rico Hayes from him to be sold to the club, to be sold to the people that come to the club.
One more time, just real quick. Just again, how can you help? Not help, but put your people on. Just put people on.
Yeah. So I say Christian P for sure. So I say all that to say that if you have something about yourself, what I always suggest to people when they're trying to figure out what they want to do in life is write everything down that you like to do. Mm-hmm. No matter if it's listening to music, no matter if it's working out, no matter if it's writing poetry, no matter if it's designing merch or just doing graphic design, you can literally find a job or multiple streams of revenue in literally just that list of things that you like to do. Like my mom, she loves acting, so she put me and my brother into the acting business.
Also in some ads here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Locally.
Yeah, definitely local ads.
Anything, but
yeah, no.
Keep going.
National and local.
National and local.
For sure. I did a print ad.
Smile for the camera real quick. There we go. Yeah, money shot.
Yes, a money shot. Yeah, I was on the elevators for a couple years at the live casino.
Yeah,
like acting like
I saw that. Yeah, I was to say,
yeah. I did commercials for Maryland. I did last year. I did a print ad for the DC Museum of Art or some shit like that. And I'm like staring at a painting, just like acting as if I'm enjoying the art. Yeah, so I'm signed to an acting agency in DC. So I go on these auditions and I booked like 7 out of the 10 that I've gone.
Yes,
so.
Look.
I do a little bit of acting.
I would say that.
But back to the advice thing. I'm sorry, because I keep.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Advice for.
Write the shit down that you like to do, and just try to find a job in that, or try to find something in that you know that you would love to do every single day. Because that's the key. You don't want to wake up every single day going to a job or working and you're not happy with that shit, because then you're just not going to appreciate it, or you're just going to be done with it after a while.
We'll talk about sacrifice to that too, because you were doing something that you didn't want to do for a long time.
Absolutely, and that's a lot of things that a lot of people. That's one of the things that a lot of people don't like to do. And I knew that I had an end goal. My plan was to be able to work for myself, and and not have to work for anybody else, and allow that business to afford the lifestyle that I like to live. So I was very stubborn and I was very tough on myself with that, because I didn't move out, like you asked me, until I turned 30. And I was miserable as shit. I was living in my grandmother's basement. I hated that shit. And of course I got a clothing line. I got hella clothes and tennis shoes stacked up. It felt like I was just living like in a closet. But I was so stubborn and so hard on myself that I didn't want to move out until my business could afford me to have my own house, pay my car payment, pay my cell phone bill, and also be able to take care of the business. So I could have been left with a 9 to 5 and lived in an apartment, but I felt like I would have been trapped at my job, because I would have always been concerned about paying my bills. What's going on? But I made it build itself up to the point where I can afford to live in my own space and take care of my bills and still travel and to do what I want to do. Patience, for sure. Patience.
Like I said, I will tell you, this guy is one of the most charismatic, enthusiastic. He's out there. He makes you feel like $1 million. But, and I want to touch on this real quick before we get the girls on here and we just talk a little bit, just like bullshit and just whatever. But mental health. Because in the black community, that's definitely weird. But definitely for the black male community, that's weird. How has that been for you through those ups and downs, the breaking your leg, through the hitting the rock bottom, through now you're thriving and you're chilling, and now you got, I don't know what your plans are, but almost I'm sure you guys are going there. And then you got and then you got a daughter, you know, and all these things going on. You've got all these new deals coming in. Where again, you link your friends in the deals. You don't even which is link your friends in the deals if you know they got something that people need or want.
Yeah. This is a no-brainer.
Where's your life at now? How do you navigate all those things that you got going on now with?
Man, I mean, shit, man. Searching for balance is an ongoing battle for me every single day, you know, because there's always something new. You know what I mean? I remember when I first had my daughter, and I was so used to living the kind of life that I was living, which is just moving at the beat of my own drum, coming in the house at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. But now I got a family, and my lady's looking at her watch like, bro, it's 3 in the morning. And I only
Time,
coming in 3 in the morning. You coming in 3 in the morning, and you smelling like
like liquor.
Yeah, we smell like
cigars
and a hookah lounge. So I had to really figure that shit out, and, you know, try to find balance in that, because the kind of life that I live and my occupation, I'm going to be in those spaces, and I'm going to be out, and I'm going to be busy and moving around at all times, and I juggle so many different hats, and I got to balance store life and event life and acting life and, most importantly, dad life and boyfriend life. So, you know, it's a lot, but I just figure it out every day and just make the necessary adjustments.
Do you go to therapy? Is it
No, it's something that I've definitely
do?
considered doing, for sure. Yeah, it's on the list of
it's
things.
on the docket. I'm a big advocate of therapy. People out there, I go probably twice a month. I think once I got my injury. Yeah, once I got my injury, I upped it now to 3 times a month. But because just like this injury is like more mental than it is physical. Physically, yeah, it is physical. I'm hurting.
Yeah, but I do want to go to therapy though. It's a lot of shit that be on my mind, and sometimes I find myself in like dark spaces where like I just feel down and I just don't know why for no reason, and shit could just be going great. Yeah. But I just might wake up one morning and I'm just like, damn, I'm just not really feeling it today, and I hate that, and I want to find out why. So that's the reason why I do want to go to therapy and talk to somebody.
Well, I can send you to.
Yeah,
I talked to a sweet 75-year-old lady, but she has knowledge on life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she won't, and I'm like, don't mince words. She's like, bet, and she won't mince words, and that's the best thing for you, because you leave out of there and you just feel light.
Yeah, I need that. I definitely
feel like a weight lifted off. If that's the way to say it. You know what I mean? But I think everyone should. I think everyone should be in therapy, and I think it's great for society as a whole. Yeah. And just we, as black males, we experience a whole different reality than a lot of other people experience.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shit so, easy out here for us. Absolutely.
And that's hard to explain to some people. Like I have to explain
people don't get it. Yeah,
like, I'm like, yo, like you don't understand. I have to work like twice or 3 times as hard as person.
Yeah, it's you.
My counterpart or the person next to me. Like I gotta really prove that I'm supposed to be here.
Man, nigga, being over 25 or being black in Baltimore, black in America is a fucking.
It's interesting.
Yeah, because we know a lot of people who are 22 or 21.
And like
shit real out here. And listen, guys that didn't even put themselves in a position to where as though that shit was warranted. You know what I mean? It's just being black. That's it.
You have a daughter now. Does that change how you party? And how you, not that you approach women, but how you see them when you're partying?
No, because I've always been a respectful guy.
I know that.
Yeah.
Not the pain.
No. I'm just being honest with you. Just because I was raised by my grandmother,
of course,
you know, a lot, and she taught me a lot of shit when it comes to like respecting women. So I'm a gentleman. You know, that's why they call me Mr. Friendly, because I cater to people. Yeah. So like when I go out and shit and it's a group of women, I'm paying for everything. I'm paying for the shots. I'm paying for the food. I want to make sure that everybody is enjoying themselves. I'm opening doors. I'm pulling out chairs. You know, you straight. Text me and let me know when you get in the house safe.
Well, that's again. We go back to we both were talking about this for the podcast. We had great parenting.
Yeah.
So yeah, like our moms were like.
But yeah, having a daughter now is like shit. I hope my daughter not gonna be out here doing this shit.
There's a counterpart.
Yeah, yes, sir. Because I see what women do, and I know the women that I've dealt with and the things that I've experienced, and it's just like, oh fuck, I'm not looking forward to her getting older, because I know it's a possibility that she's gonna have these moments. But you know, she gotta go. She gonna have a great coach though, because I've lived. I'm the boy that lived. So
the boy who lived. And on that note, we're gonna take a little bit of. Well, actually, you know what? We're not gonna take a bit of a break just yet. What I want to do before we get these girls on here is give me your phrase. Give me something that we can leave the people with Before we have you back on again, because we definitely
Yeah, I'm
Trey's DMing me as this is going on.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
yo,
gonna come back for sure.
you can't have the show without me.
And I want to come
What
back.
the fuck?
And I want to come back.
You know.
And I want to drink.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And that's when it'll be good. But give me something. Give me give me a phrase or two that we could leave the people with right now. But yeah, like leave the people with something before we get the girls on. I can ask them about these crazy situations you got yourself into, and what they would do, and like how they, because I think they got some good ones. But go ahead and leave us with something.
Shit, man, do what makes you happy. And I think that's it for me.
You heard it from the boy who lived is telling you, just do what the fuck
Makes you happy.
And
don't feel
selfish.
and don't feel selfish about it. Because you only got one life to live, and it's yours to live, so live it the way that you want to live it.
I couldn't say it any better, and I don't think he could either. We're definitely gonna have you back on here when we have Trey back.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna get back on there.
You
My
know.
God, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I mean, thanks for coming through. I know, like I said, you got a lot of responsibilities, but now we're gonna have a little fun. We'll get the girls over here. We'll get to talk again. We'll get to chatting, and but we'll take a break for a little bit. We'll see you guys when we get back. All right.